Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in. I am RxOliver and these are my friends, and tonight we're playing The Hooded Man RPG, and this is a scenario called Proving Grounds, brought to you by the one and only Logan Ryan. We are four of us for the first half of the game tonight, and we'll be five for the second half. Brian C will be joining us later on. So I'm here tonight with Max, Dave and Logan Bryan, but also thank you very much for joining us, Trousers. It's good to see you, buddy. It's good to be playing with you again. It was only recently. We've got Trousers of Doom joining us. John, thank you for joining us. We will be playing The Hooded Man, which I know nothing about, just about roughly what the setting is. And Brian's going to introduce all that for us. So, I guess without any further ado, he's going to take it away. Brian.
All right. So yeah, The Hooded Man is a role-playing game of medieval outlaws by Graham Rose. It's from Osprey Publishing in their role-playing game line, which is, I don't know, every single one has been great as far as I'm concerned. So this is actually the second game I have from Graham Rose. The first, which uses the same system, but this has been updated a little bit, is Paleo Mythic, which I played before with some other groups. So yeah, this takes place in, 12th, 13th century Robin Hood times. It is, as the author describes it in the role-playing game, largely historically accurate, but fiction at the same time. So I'll point this out for viewers. I don't know if you can tell, I'm not British. So
Neither am I.
Right. So I don't claim to have deep knowledge of 11th or 12th century England.
Though, haven't you, with Kevin Costner?
I have seen Prince of Thieves. It's interesting that you bring that up because he does a lot of stuff in the book that he'll throw out names and he'll give character descriptions of characters that many of us have heard of from various Robin Hood tales and Robin Hood movies. He even does mention the Saracen in the book, even though he indicates that's never in any of the written tales of Robin Hood. That's a much later invention in the movies, right? So it's the game itself kind of understands, okay, yeah, it's kind of historically accurate, but also largely fictitious, right? So that's what we're doing today. We'll start off with a quick overview of the system, enough to get you going, and then we're going to generate characters, which is very simple. It might take a little bit longer if you were just using the book, but because I've done some work in the background, we're going to be able to generate our characters with the click of a button. But let's talk system first. Or no, you know what? Let's generate characters first, because then it'll make more sense. So one at a time, and I will call us off so we can do this. We're going to go through. I want to make sure everybody can see the characters as they're being generated, which is why we're going one at a time, because it's going to take up a lot of the chat window. But then once we've rolled someone's character, you will, of course, be able to scroll up higher if you need to reference things again. So first things first, all of you should on your toolbar have a button to generate a character and a button to open your character sheet. Why don't you go ahead and open your character sheet first and take a look at that. Okay. Character sheet is fairly simple. So I'm going to look at, I'll just look at one of my NPCs here that I've got. So the biography, that's going to fill in once we get your character rolled in. You'll have to fill it in yourself. I don't have it that automated, but we'll talk about that. Traits and talents are probably where you're going to spend most of your time when you're looking at your character. Goods as equipment. Although that just reminds me, you might see a quick change to your character sheets because I need to do a quick reload on all of them. Okay, so you should see goods, carry limit 0. And then, let's see, there's a notes page. You can use that if you want to. That's completely up to you. And then in the upper right-hand, not upper, I guess, the right-hand corner underneath your name, there's a little button that says Edit Sheet. we can go ahead and click on that now, and that'll show you a data tab that you're going to fill some stuff in here as you generate your character. Okay. So let's start, since I'm just going to go by my screen and who I can see. Dave, we're going to start with you. Why don't you go ahead and click that other button, which is the create character on your bar down there. It should be button number 2, I think. I have it set as.
Would you like to get a character to have a hindrance?
Okay, so all of you are going to be asked if you would like a hindrance or not. So in this game, your character has traits. Your traits are going to be how you do things. If you and your traits are basically how many dice you're going to roll to start. Everybody is going to start with 3 traits, so that means 3 dice for just about anything you do. If you take a hindrance, which can have a negative impact, you will start with 4 traits. So that's your choice. If you want to take a hindrance and get an additional trait, you can do that, but you have to make that choice. I'm not going to push you one way or the other.
Oh, I could just say yes.
Okay.
Which I've done.
So, your character then, we've got and this is where you're going to look at the data tab on your character sheet. So first of all, I guess we should say you're White Raven. So the name at the top, instead of White Raven, you can go ahead and put in your name. You've got a choice of a male and a female first name, and then you've got a choice of 2 by names, either a profession or where you're from. So you want to plug those in.
Okay.
And then on the data tab, you've got your appearance, which is tall, demeanor is outspoken, motivation is justice. You just have to put justice in there. You don't have to put that other stuff, but it's good to know. Your crime is petty theft. And your hindrance is pestered.
I'll just read
So, yeah, for hindrance, you want to click the little checkbox next to hindrance to indicate that you have it. Put pestered in that line right next to it. And then in the hindrance description, you can just select, copy, and paste the description over into that box.
Okay, all done.
And once you've got that done, did you copy the description over?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Then you can click Edit Sheet to close that. Now go to your biography. You'll see that all that's filled in, nice and neat.
Absolutely.
Take a look at your hindrance at a certain point if you want to. That's certainly fun. Next, we're going to go to your Traits and Talents tab. So, traits, you have 4. You can literally just drag those over into the traits section of your character sheet.
1, 2, 3, 4. Done. Yep.
And then you can do the same thing with the talent into the talent section.
Get a bonus die. Okay, yeah.
And then finally for goods, everybody starts with 0 pennies. You do have a place to log them, but you don't have any. So, that's the life of an outlaw. And then you have, because you have 4 traits, you have a carry limit of 8. That does not include clothes, which you get for free.
Yep.
Shoes or bags if you decide to pick a bag. But for the rest of your goods, go ahead and throw clothes on there on any line that you want. And then you also get a sickle because you're a forager.
Nice.
Sickle is a tool, not a weapon. And that is an important distinction. And then the rest of the items here, it says you get the items from your talent and then any 3 different items from the other goods list, which is on the landing page. You can pick any 3 of those items. You'll notice there's no weapons on there. There's no armor on there because you're a peasant. You're not going to have those things. You could potentially, if you wanted to, I believe... Yeah, so a knife is listed under a large tool. If you really want to have a knife as a weapon, you can grab that, and there's a reason why you might want to. But you can also just fight with your bare fists and with, you can grab a club in the woods. Like, you don't have to have a weapon, right?
Well, I specify, so I'll put large tool and then specify what the large tool is, whether it's a knife,
Correct.
chisel.
Yeah. Now, in addition to that, keep in mind you're an outlaw. You've been not necessarily, unless you want to say this, thrown out of your village, but you can't live in your village anymore because the guards will come through, and if they find you, they will arrest you. You're an outlaw, right? So you live in the woods on your own, trying to make do. So you might want to think about like survival type items for the other items you select. So I see you've grabbed a knife and a rope. Yeah. Make sure you put down that it's 10 paces of rope in case that becomes important to know. And then, you'll have one more selection and you're on your way. So that is you. Next, we're going to go to Max. Oh, sorry. Yes, Oliver.
You're going to maybe make me observer so that the viewers can see?
On their character sheets? Yeah, I can do that real quick.
There's not any secret stuff that I shouldn't see?
No, there isn't. Not on their character sheets.
You might as well, if that's easy enough to do. I know it is for you.
It is easy enough to do. So Max, why don't you go ahead and click your button?
Okay, create character. Yes, would you like have a hindrance? Yes.
Here we go, I can see this.
Alright, Great Wolf.
Oh no, that's not it.
Oh, okay. So you just choose that first name?
Alright, okay, here we go.
Yeah, so male or female, whichever one you want to use. That'll be your first name. And then the by name is either the profession or people, people that aren't nobility are known generally by their profession or by where they're from, right? So you'll pick one of those.
Okay.
And then make sure I get Max's in there so you can open him real quick.
Yep. That's like rugged. I'm gonna hook
I see his sheet. You just need to tell me what tabs to look at. He's Edward of Foston, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it. You just need to tell me which tab to look at, and I can show the viewers.
Okay, so hang on. Let me get the last two here. Make sure they're all observable by you.
You're the fifth man here, viewers. You're part of the team, so you need to see us.
Ooh.
It's like a football team. We need the viewers, the watchers. That's the fifth man.
Oh, and they'll be able to see yours because that's yours. Okay, so going over to the chat window. Okay, so you've got your name, your appearance, and all that stuff. You want to plug that in.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you figured out the data. Your crime, obviously, you want to throw that in there. Is felling a tree in the King's Forest. That's a big no-no.
Oh, how do you sleep at night, man? You absolute horrible bastard, you.
I modified the descriptions a little bit to make them sound even worse, though, too, because it's illegal to chop down a tree on the King's land, even to heat one's hovel.
What's there?
You can't do it.
Wow.
Yeah, so Sherwood Forest historically is under forest law, which means it is owned by the king and by extension the sheriff who watches the forest, and it is illegal to hunt and to fell trees. Yeah.
That's where the king goes hunting, eh? So you understand why. If you're the king, you would want people to not fuck around in there.
Okay, so Max, make sure you click hindrance there, the little checkbox, and then your hindrance is actually hunted, not hunter. Hunter is something different. You are hunted.
Yeah, it was off of a button.
You have a powerful enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, noble or a bishop. Somebody who has enough resources. Oh, I need to change that to employ a hunter to find you. What happens when they find you? Well, we'll see. All right, so drag over if you haven't done so, your traits and your talent. Oh, you're a serf. Okay. Serf's actually not as bad as you would think, and there are a lot of people who are serfs.
Okay, so And there's that. Surf.
Oh, how funny is that? You have a pick or a spade. Are you gonna pick a pick so that's just like your Coriolis
I
character?
was just thinking,
Yeah, I'm
aye,
gonna do that. I'm doing that.
I've seen Max proudly swing a pick as his main weapon before. It'll not stop him
So
now.
picks and spades may also be used as weapons. They are tools that can be
So
used as
what's-
weapons.
What do I put that under goods or notes?
Anything can be
Oh,
used
that'll
as a
be
weapon.
under goods.
If you are creative enough,
Okay.
anything can be used as a weapon.
We will talk about that, but there's some danger there, and there's a reason why. So yeah, you got your talents and traits in, or trait. So yeah, pick.
Yeah.
Make sure you put in clothes because you have some clothes.
Yep.
And then 3 items from the other goods list, and that will be you. So next on my list is Oliver.
Superb.
So go ahead and roll your character.
So do I open the roller character one instead, the create a character, yeah?
Yes, create a character.
Would you like a character to have a hindrance? Yes. Okay,
You are also pestered.
so now I go back into Red Boar and I drag all this over, yeah?
Well, you're gonna have to write in. So click on Edit Sheet, go to Data, and you're gonna have to write in like the appearance, demeanor, motivation, crime, hindrance, all that stuff.
I'm tall.
Change your name.
I'm tall. Look at that. This is the
Yep.
greatest. This is the greatest day of my life. This is actually the greatest day of my life. I'm tall, guys. I'm tall and serious. Who cares? I'm tall. Motivation, honor. I thought that said humor for a second. Oh well.
Well, yeah. So you got a call character now. Nice.
I'm struggling to copy it. It's annoying me. Crime. What's my crime? Debt to the church.
Debt to the
Unable to pay
church.
church tithes is illegal even for the downtrodden. Oof. Bad times. That's annoying me. That's not copying it properly.
Scavenger. Nice.
It should. I don't know why it wouldn't. I've copied and
Hindrance.
pasted from
So
the chat window.
do I click the box for hindrance and then
Click the box, put in the name, and then put in the description in the next box.
it's my mouse being a dick. Pestered. Oh,
So there are 2
I pumped that-
cats
I
in the
pumped-
party following around.
I pumped that in the wrong
Or is
box.
it just one cat?
Is it one cat
The
following
same
both of
cat.
us, or is it
Yeah.
2 cats?
It's probably one cat messing with both of you. Yeah. Now I should be clear, extra clear with this hindrance. You have no control over this cat.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a mascot. It's not a friend. If you read the hindrance, it can be a problem for you.
We'll just,
Yeah, I've read it.
But by the same token,
if you kick it hard enough,
by the
it'll
same
be a
token,
hit-
you also
hindrance
don't
anyway.
have to. You also don't have to take care of it, right? Like you don't have to feed it or anything like that. It's not a companion.
I'll take
It's
care of it,
interesting
don't
that
worry,
you say
Max.
that, Oliver, because I didn't put it in the description, but it is actually written into the book that if the players remove the cat, it does reappear. Like another one will show up. This is
A black
you're
cat
like-
was a sign of a devil.
You can't even just kill it.
Yep.
Another one will just come back.
yep,
Right.
yep.
I've done the up to the hindrance, so I drag the traits over, do I?
You drag the traits and the talent over. Yes,
Aware.
it's a good one.
Wise. It's a good one, surely. Quick. Aware, quick and brave. Sounds good.
Yep.
Scavenger, an extra item from the other goods list.
Yeah, so you're
Uh,
gonna have clothes and then 4 items from the other goods list.
Sick. So I get a tunic with hose and trousers, or a belt, shoes, and hood hat, or wimple. What's a wimple?
Wimple is like a headscarf, like
Right,
generally
yeah,
a more
yeah,
feminine
Yeah.
head covering.
Wimple's a good word.
Yep.
Yeah, religious garment, isn't it?
The item from my talent. What was my talent?
That it did evolve from that, yes.
What's the talent scavenger? I get an item from the talent.
Yeah, which is an extra item
extra
from the other
item.
goods list. So you get 4
So
instead
I'm
of
getting
3.
4 instead of 3, right? Okay, so is that a drag or a roll, or do I just pick things?
No, you just pick things and type them into your
And
goods
is that
list.
from this goods list here
One
that's
item
in front
per
of me on the
line.
tabletop?
That is correct. That is correct.
Sick. Okay.
Is
Well,
can I ask a question?
Yep.
Is it worth, in relation to the game, do we know each other? Are we like a band?
No, you're going to start not knowing each other. You will know each other very quickly, but like, no, you're
So we
all
can't-
just recently been branded outlaws.
It's not worth us. Well, we can't.
is it just a case of
collaborate on what items we need and stuff like that?
No, you shouldn't really collaborate on items.
so it's
yeah.
just a case of look at this, pick 4 things that I think will be useful.
Yep.
Sweet.
Keeping in mind that you're an outlaw, you now live in the woods. Yeah, you take care, figure out your goods, and you are done. Make sure and put clothes in there too, because although they don't technically count against you, you should have clothes on.
Right, aye.
Um,
Well, everyone always says you should have clothes on, but that's always debatable. Depends on the mood, the vibe, what's going on,
Right,
what the event
sure.
is, the
Yeah.
event, the atmosphere. It's
and
always
yeah, make
debatable.
sure. Obviously, I think Dave already has. Max, if you have questions about your hindrance or your talent, make sure and let me know. Same thing, Oliver. But yeah, if yep, you're back. So
So-
that's you, John, to make a roll.
So a large tool would be a hammer, or is that a small tool?
Hammer would be a large tool. Well, it depends. Are you talking like a sledge or? Oh, we lost John again.
Well, we didn't all move
no, still there.
positions, so we're good actually. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, but no need to cut that.
He did
'cause
roll
he's-
though.
Yeah, he's rolled his shit.
If I drop out.
It's only when he drops out we need to, and it's just a quick fix
Yep.
for me as well. Anyway, as long as I
No
stop and
worries.
start the recording, it makes it much easier because you just drop the 2 bits together and.
Oliver, you
Trim
didn't
the
set
bit.
your character's name, by the way.
Ah, okay. Oh yeah. Let me do that. Was it Simon Miller or Simon of Osburton? I like Simon of Osburton. That's cool.
I think that's me.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
looking
yeah,
at.
so
no,
it is. Yeah. I
you
need
got to
scroll
scroll up. Yeah.
My mistake.
Yeah,
Oops. I'm Nicholas of Dunwich. Dunwich. Oh, how Lovecraftian. I love it.
nice.
Yeah, I'll take that all day. I'm an elder. I'm a deep one. I'm a deep one or an elder something. I'm something cool anyway. Dunwich.
Right.
I'll take that all
Well,
day.
Dunwich was a massive harbour town about this time, wasn't it? Before it all got flooded.
Aye.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's go with that. Nicholas of Dunwich.
Okay.
I'm happy with that, boys. Oh wait, I need to stay in the edit sheets. I've not picked my 4 things yet. You can all do your thing because I'm busy picking stuff.
All right. So,
My foundry's dropped. Come back.
oh,
here.
no worries. We got your character roll though. So yeah, you are
So-
Simon
so-
or
Yep.
Rose.
So I'm not going to look at Max's sheet. Don't make me observer for the rest, Brian, because I don't want to look at people's inventories, and that will be more fun if we don't know. If we just silently pick our things.
Well, I already did.
It's
Just
more
don't
fun.
look.
Yeah. That's what. No, I won't look. I'm just going to
Don't
pick
give
my
in to
stuff.
Yeah.
temptation.
Okay. Oh, and we've got another scout. Interesting.
Another wise as well. That's good to see.
I mean, it's a good place to get a scout.
Yeah, I'm gonna say wise, agile, dexterous, and virtuous.
Wait, did Brian roll a scout as well?
Yeah.
I think he may have.
Right, I'm definitely taking one of those.
Oh, we got a forager, we got a serf, we have a scavenger, and we have
3
a
scouts.
scout. 3 scouts.
Oh, that's right. It was
no.
Brian that rolled the scout.
I got scavenger.
But oh, right. Okay. So Dave is a forager. Okay. 2 scouts isn't bad.
Dave
It's
was
just- it's
Dave
weird
was
to have
a
seen.
Dave was a forager. I was a scavenger.
Yeah. Because there are 36 talents. And I've got it set to random, and to have 2 people get scout is pretty funny. And it's on like full random. There's not like a bell curve or anything. It's like weighted
NPCs.
1 for 1.
It's really hard picking 4 things because a lot of these things are just really useful for a situation that would be really useful. But it might not come up. But if it comes up, you would be laughing if you had, like, you know what I mean? If we need to collect water and nobody's got a bowl, but you're like, I've got a bottle. Like a bottle's
I got a
really.
flask.
And the thing of it is, Oliver, is as a scavenger, well, technically anybody can do this, but as a scavenger, you get bonuses to just try to find things,
Say,
even in the woods.
So even a sack,
So-
is a hella useful item for me, just to carry shit in. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, this is really hard to choose. Brian, can you see what I pick? You can see what I pick without other people seeing what I pick, can't you?
Yeah, I can see.
Do you think I've made 2 good choices so far?
Yeah.
I'm thinking survival.
That's what I did.
Yeah, Max.
It's a good way to think. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna
Or
go.
If you're on
another
the
way
run,
to
you
think about
kinda-
it is like, yeah, what were you able to grab on the way out of your village as the guards were trying to find you? You know, stuff like that.
Aye. It's still hard. It's hard as hell to pick 4 for this list. Like, it's fun. I know I'm gonna get it wrong, guaranteed. I'm definitely taking that because I'm a that. And
There's no getting it wrong. Trust me.
I guarantee
Man, we're
I will
owls.
though.
We can always get our hands on whatever.
Even when there's no getting it wrong, I'll get it wrong. Promise. I'll still find a way to fuck it up. I'll invent a way to fuck it up.
So yeah, it looks like John is rugged and outspoken, seeking
Yeah.
justice.
What's in a porter's tool bag, Brian?
Oh, in a porter's tool bag. That's a good question.
It
Let
doesn't
me
say
open
anything.
my-
The other ones have got examples, like tools have got examples, but porter's tool bag doesn't have an example of what kind of tools a
Same with the
porter
blacksmith
has.
and the carpenters.
Well, a porter's somebody that carries
Well,
stuff.
those you can imagine, right?
Yeah.
Like, but a porter.
Porter's a carrying person that carries stuff.
Yeah, they are.
So
So porter's tool bag, a wooden knife, wire, rags, a pot, and a cloth bag.
that's a
Just
sick,
like useful
Right, okay.
items.
I'll make no secret that I'm taking that because that looks really good. I'm taking that.
Okay.
I'll tell you the other 3 though. I'll see that was my
And-
scavenger one. That was the one from my talent.
Make sure and change your name as well there, John, at the top. You're not
Yep.
Blue Falcon anymore. Now you're, I assume, Simon, either Miller
Mhm.
or of Osburton.
I don't know what Osburton is.
I don't either. It might be made up. Like, that's something you have to keep in mind as well. It's like some of the names in this book are
Chat can
made
Google
up.
it. See if it's real or no, chat. Check it out. Osburton. It sounds real. I'm betting real. What do you think, Max?
That probably
I-
is.
Mine
think
is
if-
Northwick. Yeah, it's mine
no-
is.
Northwick's real, aye.
Where,
I've heard of
where's
that.
John's
Dunwich's
Osbert?
Lovecraft, mate.
Osburton.
Right, would you think
Okay.
think that was real, John? Osburton. Or fake?
Osburton's real.
So, if you want and you don't want to see the data tab anymore, you can click the edit sheet button off on your character sheets, and that'll just have you looking at your biography, talents, goods, and notes. Again, notes is just for you. If you want to put anything in there, that's totally up to you. But looks like all the characters are done. We didn't have any issues with re-rolling any talents, so that's good. There is an additional layer that we're not going to get into yet necessarily, because I'm doing kind of a, not a funnel per se, but like kind of a 0 level character kind of deal.
Mhm.
But one of the conceits of the game is that you also have companions, and usually each character starts with an additional companion, so that you actually have kind of a larger outlaw band.
Yeah.
But
friends.
you guys haven't formed your band yet. You haven't found your companions yet, so you don't have that
Oh, yeah.
yet. And companions are essentially built the exact same way as characters are. They just don't have talents, and they don't have hindrances. They just have traits. But if we got to the point where you were using companions, you would actually control them the same way you control your character. Like, they would make rolls and stuff. So speaking of that, now that you have your characters, let's talk about the game. The game, from your perspective, is fairly simple. It's a D6 pool, essentially, where the goal in any given roll is to roll a single 6. Multiple 6s don't matter. You just need a single 6 to succeed. How many dice do you roll? Well, if you look at your character sheet, there's a roll a test button. That roll a test button is going to be dependent on a couple of things. First of all, if you click it, which you can right now, but go ahead and cancel it out, a box will pop up that asks you if you want to add any dice, right?
Mhm.
So what do you add dice for? You can add dice for a relevant trait. What that means is If I ask you to make a roll, generally I will say make an agile test. Now, who has agile? Does anybody? Okay.
I do.
If you have agile and I ask you to make an agile test, you get to add another die to the roll with that box.
Okay.
If you don't have agile, you can still make the test. You just don't get an extra dice. Does that make sense?
Yep.
In fact, you still have to make the test. You just don't get an extra dice. Your talent may add dice to certain things, and I'm not going to be looking at your talents all the time, so you'll have to know whether or not a talent adds. And you can ask me, like, oh, is Forager going to work for this? It says this, right? So keep an eye on your talent. Camp features, this game does have a camp or base building aspect to it. Obviously, we're probably not going to get into that in the scope of a single one-shot, but if we were playing a longer-term game, and you guys built like a camp in Sherwood, you would start to build things in the camp that could then give you bonuses to certain roles. Assistants, you can help each other. There is a limit though. You can only get help from one person for any given role, and it has to make sense. I won't always let you get assistance from somebody, but you can always try. And then in combat, if you're using a weapon, you get a bonus die. Now, the trick to that is it has to be a weapon. The trick to that is, as Oliver said, anything can be used as a weapon. If you want to say, I'm going to use my spade, somebody has a shovel, right? Or a pick.
A pick.
Max, you have a pick. That's technically a tool. It's not a weapon. But if you say, I want to use that as a weapon, I'll let you. But then you have to make a fortunate test to see if it breaks.
The risk and reward aspect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, if you have an actual weapon, like a dagger, a sword, a mace...
Does that work
you
for
don't...
knives? Even though a knife...
No, it's still a tool. You can use it as a weapon, but it's technically a tool. You would have to roll. A dagger is a weapon. Yeah.
A knife's a tool.
So if it's not a weapon, you can use it, but it might break. It can be repaired, but not in the scope of this game, because none of you are blacksmiths or carpenters or anything like that. Those are talents. What else? You never lose dice. I'll point that out. So you never lose dice from a roll. You just add dice. As far as difficulty, most of the time you only need to roll a single 6 as a success. If something is harder, like for example with the two of you that are pestered, if your cat gets in the way and makes a roll troublesome for you, T means 2. 2 tests. Not 2 6s, 2 tests.
You roll and then roll again.
You got to roll and then roll again. And if both succeed with a single 6, then you succeed.
Okay.
Right, okay, so you have to make two successive rolls, and you've got to roll one after the other, 2 successes rather than 2 rolls at once.
Right.
You have to make sure you're right. Okay, so it doesn't matter how many successes you get. It doesn't matter how many 6s you get, as long as you get at least one both times. Got it.
Correct.
Okay.
And that difficulty goes up. You generally won't see things, especially not this early on, that are formidable or fiendish, which means 4 or 5 tests. But you might see up to threatening, which is 3 tests.
Okay.
Now, enemies work very similar. If you do get into a fight, I mean, you're outlaws, so you probably will have to tussle with some guards at some point. Guards, just like situations or enemies, I guess I should say, any kind of enemy, are rated as ordinary, troublesome, threatening, and so on. The difference there is that also kind of acts as their health. So if you're fighting a threatening foe, you actually have to hit it. Well, all of you combined. It doesn't just have to be one person. You would have to hit it 3 times successfully in combat in order to defeat it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So there's no damage rolls or anything like that. It's just, making tests.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, among all of that, you might be asking, well, okay, I see why we get to add dice. Where are our dice? Well, that's where your traits come into play. So your normal amount of traits, which is uninjured, what you normally have. All of you took hindrances, so it's 4. That's how many dice you start with. So any given roll, you're going to roll 4 dice. If you get hurt, if you get injured, if you suffer a difficulty, you might lose one of those traits, which is why they have check boxes.
Mm-hmm.
If you lose a trait, the number of dice you roll goes down. And that will automatically be calculated for you. You just need to make sure you check off a trait when you lose it. In combat, you get to choose. So if you're fighting somebody and they hit you, which you defend, I don't roll any dice in this, you're going to have to make defensive rolls. Then you have to decide which of your traits is going to be injured. And then we go on from there.
Question.
Yep.
Am I, so say you attack me, right? And I'm then going to decide, am I attacking you bravely, or am I using my awareness or my quickness?
Okay, so
How
that's
am I
a good
defending?
question.
And then if I pick one of them, that means if it gets broken, then that one's broken, and I don't get to choose because I chose that one to defend with.
Not exactly. So you can always defend, but the type of defense is going to be determined by the narration. So if you're in hand-to-hand combat with a weapon or even an improvised weapon, that's always going to be brave versus agility. Or agile. Range weapon is always going to be accurate versus agile. Brawling is going to be strong with no weapons, is going to be strong versus agile. So that never changes. You, however, if you take a hit, you get to decide which one of your traits is damaged. So it doesn't matter like how you describe your attacks and defenses. In the end, you pick which trait is damaged.
Right.
Now,
No matter which one I use to defend with, I still then choose which one I want to pick.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you could quite literally, if you have agile, you could make sure you don't injure your agile until the very end. And so you have it there, because once a trait is injured, not only do you lose a die, but if that trait is relevant to a test and it's injured, you don't get the bonus die for it being relevant, if that makes sense.
Do you want to keep your best one relevant?
Or keep the ones that you think might be necessary, right? Yeah, or helpful.
The most, what you feel is going to be really important, you want to try and keep that as uninjured
right.
as possible. And I guess because I don't have agile, for me that might be quick. I've got quick.
Well, if you don't have agile, when you're defending in combat, you just roll your traits. You just roll 4 traits. You don't get a bonus die because you don't have agile.
So only
That's
if you've got agile. We can't defend with
only
just
if you
like
have
whatever
agile.
you want. Right,
Nope, you don't get to pick what you defend with. It's just it's always the same thing. Quick is used for running, getting away from people, chasing people.
Right.
Agile is used for defense. Yeah.
Right. So it's not just a case of picking what one you want to do what with.
No.
Right, okay,
The picking only comes into play when you decide what's
Which
damaged.
one's getting damaged.
That's exactly. Now, obviously, there are ways to heal, but we'll deal with that when you guys are hurt. Because there are a few options there, but yeah, that's the basics. Does anybody have any questions before we really jump into this?
I don't think so.
Okay, let's go ahead and do that then.
Ooh,
So
question.
I'm going.
Question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Question. I picked an item that I heard you say that things like woodworking, blacksmithing, they're all talents. If I've got an item related to that talent, and even though I haven't got the talent, can I still roll a test? Would I just having the bonus die? For instance, if I've got carpenter's tools, can I attempt to use them tools even though I'm not a carpenter?
So generally, no. If you want to craft or repair things, you actually have to have the talent, because the talent kind of gives you permission to do that. In addition to some other things.
Replace an item.
You absolutely can, yes.
Thank you.
Now, if there are things in carpenter's tools you think you can use for other things, you can still have it. But yeah, if you want to have something different, you certainly can. I mean, Oliver's not a porter, but he picked the porter's bag because it has some stuff. Yeah,
It's handy.
Exactly. But if you ever become a carpenter, you need a carpenter's tool bag to
that's what I'm
apply your trade.
I tell you what, I'll keep it for now because I'm sure it'll have some useful items in the bag.
Maybe you just nicked it off someone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it could be.
Grabbed it on my way
Or
out.
maybe you were an apprentice and just didn't, learn.
Finish the
Stole the guy's
apprentice-
tools because you were an apprentice and just never went back to work. You
Right.
stole the guy's tools instead.
But I mean, I can tell you what's in according to the book. Obviously, there are things in it that are helpful to carpenters.
Hmm.
It's not always necessarily exact, but the examples they give are like a mallet, and I never know how to pronounce this. An adze,
Ads. I think it's just ads, mate.
or just an adze,
I think.
and awl, and gouges in a leather bag, right? So I mean, you have a bag. It's got some little tools in it,
hammer in it or a mallet. So
Yeah, a little mallet. So yeah, exactly.
I'll keep it.
Okay,
Sword shop,
cool.
Keep it.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so cool. Well, then you will always be able to pop back to this page if you want to double check like difficulty levels or anything else like that, or if you want to look at other goods. But for now, we're going to move into our first scene, which is the meeting. So all of you have recently become outlawed. And branded outlaws by the sheriff of Nottingham. And when I say branded, I don't necessarily mean that any of you received a brand, as it were, unless you wanted to have been caught and then maybe escaped.
Not particularly.
But you are now known, maybe not notorious, but known outlaws. You have had to flee whatever settlements you might have been staying in, and you've been trying to make do on your own in the woods. Times are hard. Laws are heavy. Taxes are heavy. And the Sheriff of Nottingham rules the region with an iron grip. Somehow, maybe word passed on to you as you traveled by some travelers, or you picked up possibly a message moving through a village quickly and grabbing a few supplies for yourself. You have received an invitation to meet today at a particular place known as Jenny's Green Teeth, an interesting rock structure in southern Sherwood, with a person of interest, someone who says or claims that they can help you and that they have an interest in helping you. Yet when you arrive at the relatively well-known, call it a point of interest, these large kind of tooth-like rocks that are just covered in moss and aged. May have once been like an ancient structure, but there's no entrance, there's nothing like that. When you arrive,
meet you by the cool rocks.
Yeah, right. When you arrive, perhaps nearly all at the same time, you run into a few other people. Including one person who isn't here currently, but I'm going to say that they're here at this meeting, and then will kind of disappear and come back later, mysteriously.
Not if I kill them first.
So you see these other, and they are all, I assume, because I think I was reading your character sheets correctly, men, approaching Jenny's Green Teeth at the same time. Why don't you all do a short introduction and start to talk amongst yourselves? We'll start with Dave. We'll just go through the list again.
My name's John of Northwick, and I've been sent here to meet someone that told me to meet him here, that said they could help me. I've been branded by that shithouse of a sheriff, a thief, a petty theft, which I didn't do. So I need to clear my name, so I'm hoping whoever this person is can help me.
Max?
You see your rugged gentleman looks about, and he kind of like wearily looks at him. He says, sits down a bag, has the pick on his shoulder, kind of just sits it down, his hands over it. It's like, David of Folston. I've been accused of felling a tree in the King's Forest. You know how it is these days.
When
Yeah,
he
it's
says
like,
that, I'm taking a couple of steps back, like, oh shit, we've got a real bad guy over here.
yeah, I mean, it's serious. He's not gonna lie about it. It's like, it's like I had to keep some of the family warm, but it's been lean times for some.
Imagine making you an outlaw for trying to keep your family warm. It's
These laws in this land.
he's an absolute,
stupid.
he's a tyrant. He's a tyrant, that sheriff.
Yeah,
Well,
we'd
that's
love
you,
to shove
then.
this up his arse.
Oliver?
I'll walk over and shake his hand. Good to meet you. Good to meet you.
So
He nods, he shakes his hand.
Nicholas Dunwich is tall and serious. I'm tall, everybody, and seeks honour. So he's not a fan of the sheriff, just like yourselves. I'm branded an outlaw just because I was late paying a tithe to the church. I was owed my church tithe. I fed my children instead of paying it. You know what it's like in a bad month. You've got to decide who gets it and who doesn't. And my children got it and the church didn't. And that makes me an outlaw. So I hate the sheriff as much as the rest of you. And there's a black cat follows me everywhere I go. And it's the bane of my life.
I've seen that cat before and all.
Are there?
My fucking head in.
I hate cats. I'm going to get my hands on it. And I'm going to wring its neck and I'm going to eat it.
John?
Be thou good Saxon men, if it thou not the Norman curse that has plagued this land, that takes the great land from those who tell it. I will take what is of the land. I'll take rabbits, I'll take hare, I'll take fox, and I will not, I repeat, I will not allow these malcontents and jackanapes to tell me where I can go on my own land.
Aye, aye.
Oh, yeah.
Aye, well said,
You're a
son.
poacher.
Well
That's
said,
right.
that
I forgot.
man.
You're a poacher.
Well said, well
So-
said.
Am I?
As you are all interacting with each other, you might notice at some point, kind of in the shadow of the eaves and the rocks, there's a bit of a flare of light, and obviously you wouldn't hear anything like a match or anything like that. Somebody would just have some tinders, but a figure in the shadows seems to light a pipe. I don't even know if pipes are real back then, but we're gonna go with it. He lights a pipe,
Oh, aye.
and he's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
And he steps out. He steps out from the shadows, and he is a hooded man.
I
In a
bring up
dark
my pick and
green hood. Looks to be wearing some kind of maybe a gambeson or like a leather kind of boilerplate kind of armor of some
Armor,
kind.
yeah.
And he has a blade at his hip and a bow strung and slung over his shoulder.
I think Nicholas of Dunwich should have like 2 scars along his neck that look like they were gills at one time in a different life.
Oh, that's funny.
Because he's of
Yeah,
Dunwich.
that's cool. Sure, yeah.
It's related to deep ones. I've got two
Right.
big birthmarks or scars or
Does
something
he-
along my throat. Looks like
Does
they
he
could
have
been
the
gills.
Innsmouth look?
His ears are really pointy.
His
and
eyes are a
his
little
eyes
too
are
far
really
apart?
a little too far apart. Aye, and his ears are a
Yeah,
bit funny,
yeah.
pointy. Aye, and he's
Okay.
properly off Dunwich, like.
So, yeah, this man steps out of the shadows and he says, well, lads, thank you for coming. And he throws his hood back, and it's a young man, actually. Doesn't look terribly grizzled. It can't be, I mean, you are all however old you want to be, but this one can't be more than 16, 17,
Oh,
maybe?
that's young.
Well, I mean, it can be pretty old in the Middle Ages, but
But
yeah,
well,
he's
yeah, I
30.
suppose
Or, yeah.
he's probably got 3 kids in a house and
Yeah.
But young-ish. And he says, name's Will Stutley. I work with a certain merry band that works through these woods on occasion. We keep an eye on people who get branded as outlaws. And I was asked...
Shithouse.
What's that?
Sheriff. That sheriff
Yeah.
goes around
Well,
branding anyone he wants.
The sheriff has no lack for enemies, and yet none seem able to do anything about it.
Would we ever heard tales or ballads about the merry men?
Have you heard of Robin Hood
To be
and his merry men?
Aye. Is it right in the height of the
Probably.
fame? And right in
It
the heart
probably
of Robin
would
Hood
be,
country?
yeah.
So yeah, probably
Yeah.
the most famous guy.
I mean, you're all adults, so I think you will have known at this point that outlaws and brigandry is relatively common in Sherwood, but not always on such a negative light. Are there just thugs that steal from people? Absolutely. But you will have heard of the Hood or
The rumors of this
this
giving back and all
group that fights the sheriff and gives back, and yeah.
How much better days was it? Imagine how fucking cool it would be just to run about in the woods, dodging the sheriff in the woods. Oh, mate, that's fucking better days. I would swap modern life for running about dodging the sheriff in the woods, where life expectancy at 25. I would.
Sounds awesome, but no, I'll stick with where I am. But yeah, so he says, I've been asked to gather you to see if you would all be interested in... Oh, I guess I should say very quickly, the other person does introduce themselves as Edward of Foston. They are scarred and seem very restless, always moving about, shifting from foot to foot, possibly even doing things with his hands. He says that he was accused of overcharging for ale in a nearby settlement.
That is a crime.
Wasn't your guy of Foston as well, Max? You're from the same place?
Yeah, that's why he's that is a...
Oh, are you a Foston?
Yeah, he's Foston too.
I would say that you and Brian's character actually recognize each other. You may not have had a relationship. You can decide that when he gets here. But yeah, you're both from the same village.
And he was overcharging for ale?
Maybe he even he's been accused of overcharging for ale.
That's a
We'll let him
crime.
decide if that's true or not when he gets here.
They should hang him, to be fair. Bastard. Bastard. That is a fucking... a crime against the common man.
Apparently ale had a fixed price in those times.
As it should.
And if you overcharge for it, it was a crime. Yeah.
More like to have been watered down.
Bring it back, mate.
Yeah.
Bring it back as a hanging offence.
I
Overcharged
told my
pipe?
wife that
I
when
don't think so. Not anymore, son.
I told my wife that when I was putting all this together. She was like, sounds like socialism. Socialism for ale.
Bring it on.
You couldn't trust the water, so he had to drink beer, but it was like a watered down beer.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. So, he did introduce himself, but then Will Stutley showed up, and he says he's wondering if you would be interested in doing some work for his group and possibly working together to do some good to fight against the sheriff.
Rumor has it that there's a nobleman of Norman blood. Is that true, Will Stutley?
Well, if you're speaking of Rob, I don't know that he's noble. He's living in the woods like the rest of us. He's never tried to lord it over me, I'll say that.
How does someone as young as you become an outlaw?
Oh, well.
Because the sheriff's a bastard. The answer to that question's obvious, because the sheriff's a bastard. It's the same reason we're all outlaws, because he's a bastard.
30s. This he's a young man.
Well, I mean, when winters are hard and you do what you can to find meat.
I get it.
I mean, I like the robbing from the rich aspect of it. Not too sold on the second half, I would say.
You're not a fan of helping out your fellow man?
I gotta sort myself out first, lad.
Well, I will say, and he kind of like flicks a bit of fuzz off of his nice like leather breastplate and kind of fiddles with the sword that is at his hip, which looks nice. He's like, I won't deny there is some benefit to engaging in the life that we live.
Even a sword is a status symbol at this point. Like a sword is a big status symbol for this. Take me back to the woods. I'm romanticising this so much, by the way. Excuse me for a minute, guys.
You're there now. We're there now.
This is so cool. Just take me back. I don't want to be me anymore. I want to do that. Yeah. Listen.
So yeah, he says, I'll be honest with you. I wasn't sent with pay. I wasn't sent with a contract. I was sent to give you the opportunity. But I will say that if you succeed, not only will you likely have the support and acceptance of the community that I'm asking you to help, but my band will take more serious interest in you. And in addition to that, I have a possibility for you to earn some coin as well, something a little on the side that I have discovered.
Large band sounds like it's easy.
Well, you know that
the sheriff and his men to find.
You know that the latter is what we're all here for. So we want to hear about that.
Well, that's the thing. I want to be clear. This is not an invitation to join our band. This is an invitation to become associated, if you will. Because you're right, a large band living in the woods could potentially be easy for the guard to find. But many smaller bands willing to work together in times of need, moving and staying apart, but coming together to defend each other and defend the people, that's much harder to control.
I'm no fanboy of the Hood or anything, but I do enjoy the fact that he gets under the sheriff's skin as much as the next man. And an opportunity to be a part of that is always a good thing on top of a bit of coin. But obviously, that bit of coin that you're talking about might be a something. That's the thing that we need to talk about being a something. That's what we're all here for, really, isn't it?
And the opportunity to dash some Norman brains on the cobbles of Sherwood floor.
Aye, and that.
Aye, Master William. I'll listen to you.
Aye,
to that end, there's two things. One, there's a village in northern Sherwood. It's been around for a few years. They managed to get leave from the sheriff to fell some trees and build their village near a mine, an iron mine, in fact. And because of that, they've become well off, shall we say. Still serfs, like you were, like I was, but iron is lucrative.
Mm-hmm.
Haycourt is the name of the village, and we've learned that the sheriff, in 3 days' time, is sending a small group of guards there to tax them an enormous amount.
Fuck the sheriff.
An amount that they're not prepared to pay.
I hate that bastard.
He won't do it himself. He'll send his lackeys.
It is illegal to fight the sheriff's men, but as you're all already outlaws, we figured we could give you the opportunity to help this village and potentially secure yourself some fame, some recognition, and possibly even a safe place. Because one thing that's important to point out for those who are viewing, one of the things that's key in this game is getting in good with villages and becoming allied with different villages to get benefits from them, like a place to hide,
People
a
to trade-
healer.
people to
Some of them
trade
give
with.
you food. They'll trade with you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Aye, you can't just survive in the woods on your own, just robbing people.
Right.
You have to trade with some people
Oh,
as
yeah.
well for most of your everyday
Right.
stuff. Like, you can't just rob everything, eh?
Right.
Yeah.
And in this time, most villages, like if they don't know you and you roll into town trying to sell off like rings or weapons and things like that, they're gonna be like, "Who are you? Get out!" Like they don't want to deal with you. But if you build a relationship with them, or if you find a fence, yeah. So anyway, that's the first thing. Haycourt needs support. They would like you to help defend Haycourt from this small contingent of men.
I mean, that sounds right up my street. Because I am, as you saw my character sheet, honour is something that is important to my character. So I don't want to just go fighting with the sheriff's men just to kill the sheriff's men, because they're men with families and that as well. But fighting them for a good reason, because they're terrorising a town. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at this guy, this Will Stutley guy, and I'm like, we've not all got those things like you have and the sheriff's men have, and I'm talking about sword. We've not all got them, mind, but...
Well, I have it on fairly good authority that you should be able to handle. It is a small contingent of the sheriff's guard that are being sent, at least for now. We believe that you can handle it.
Yeah.
I'll uppercut his beard off.
Now, in addition to that, at that point, I guess I should say, he does pull out a map that he will show you. Let's have everybody switch to that real quick. So you are down here at Jenny's Green Teeth, and Haycourt is up here.
It's not loaded for me yet. It's stuck on 98%.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
There we
go. Okay. You here now? Okay, good.
Ooh, look at this.
So yeah,
folks.
Jenny's Green Teeth is down here. Haycourt is up here. So it's probably, you're looking at this, it's probably a day and a half to 2 days to get to Haycourt. And Will said that the guard should...
Is that we get to the King's Road and then just move up and then cut across, or through the woods?
Well, I'll leave that to you guys, because what's interesting is Will's not going to give you the map. So this is the only time you're going to have to look at the map. Then it goes away.
Oh, fun. Who was the scout again?
Actually, you have two. Brian and John are both scouts.
So John's a scout. Brian's not here yet. Explaining.
But John, yeah, exactly. But yeah.
Okay.
So, while you're looking at the map, Will also says, "Now, as I said, I have also learned of an opportunity that I was planning on dealing with myself, but I figure give you all a chance to improve yourselves, advance yourselves."
You keep talking, sir.
I'm listening.
There's a noble that will be traveling the high road in the next few days. I hope, that he will be somewhere along the route that you take, if you stick close to the road, to where you'll be able to waylay him.
That road, I'm assuming, is
the King's Road.
It's like the route of trade and traveling.
Yes.
From town,
Yeah, it's the main. Yeah. Obviously, there are other paths and tracks in the forest,
and I heard
that's the main one.
I heard that noble's got a 14-year-old bride, so it'll be a good enough reason to beat him up.
Well, he says, I'll be honest with you. I don't know much about the noble. I just know that there will be a noble traveling the route. It's possible he may have retainers and a small guard himself. But again, there are five of you.
What will he be carrying?
Well, that I have heard. I heard that his purse is not light, and that he does have some trinkets that would be worth something.
Okay,
Nice.
we can have him as well. By the way, just stepping out of the game for a sec, I'm doing this because my character's outspoken. That's why I'm spouting out all
That's
this.
great.
So
Yeah.
just
Well,
to let you know, just if you think Dave's not
My
playing
character
normally.
doesn't like the nobility because they all marry like children, eh? I'm going to assume he's got a child wife, and I'm going to rescue her at the same time as killing him. So it's a noble cause. I'm
I mean,
fighting.
14
Right.
she'd be on a third child. So,
Exactly,
you know,
aye, exactly. So I'm putting an
Yep.
end to all of that.
So
It's
he
one of
says,
them. They're all the same. Noble classes. They're all the same.
protecting
They're all at it.
Haycourt. Protecting Haycourt, of course, is the most important thing to Rob. But if you have time,
Quick recap, young lad. Sheriff's going there in 3 days. And the nobleman's travelling, you've heard, in the next day and a half, 2 days, did you say?
yes. So if you stick close to the road, you may be able to see him. I know traveling the road can be more dangerous, but if you stick close to the road, at least you may be able to come upon him or possibly
Buff
even
him up.
prepare. You know, you don't have to just roll up on somebody and attack them. You could set an ambush.
Prepare an ambush. Could just wreck it.
Yeah.
Is he travelling in like a carriage? We could put something out that'll wreck the wheels in the carriage, like a wee
That I
like,
don't know.
a covered pit.
As I said,
a pit in the road, crash his carriage into it, and then be upon him. And they'll just think we're random brigands off again. Never know who it was.
I just know that he'll be traveling along the road. I don't know how. I don't know with what.
Even if we see and he's got 6 guards with him, we could decide it's not worth it and carry on.
Yeah,
exactly.
Make that judgment call anyway. So
you could.
If it's just a couple of them, we go duff them up. If it's too many of them, we don't bother.
So, are you amenable to helping the people of Haycourt?
You've got to deal with me.
how many
You can
others
tell
do
that
they- how
Will
many
is
others have
trying
you
to use. I'm sorry, what?
How many others have you asked? Haycourt's asked on other
Oh, to do
sides,
this?
what do you call it?
None.
Yeah.
None.
Just us.
You are the party that Rob is currently interested in. You're the, if you become so, the band that Rob is interested in backing. For now.
Oh, is it? That's okay. Hear that, boys? Hear that? Rob's watching us.
I'm all right with that.
Aye.
If I could stick one to that bastard sheriff.
Yes. Fuck
Oh,
that
yeah.
sheriff.
Make
Well, in
it
that case,
on
and
side.
he snatches the map back and quickly rolls it up and slides it into his breastplate. So you no longer have a map.
Hope you got a good look, John. I mean, it was like that.
Maps are expensive.
That's some proper vellum, that is. Yeah, some goat skin.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if someone get a nice piece of wood and just kind of chiseled it with a knife and like, all right, we got here, we got to go there, and the road's that way. Okay.
Just draw it in the dirt.
Aye, we can
Aye.
So
we can replicate it.
where we're going.
We'll give one of you a tattoo with a knife to replicate it. Sound Prison Break
So,
style. Hold still, mate.
With that, Will snaps up the map and he says, well then, I have things of my own to see to. If you'll excuse me, good luck. And
Where do we meet
someone
afterwards?
will meet you in the village of Haycourt, assuming that Haycourt is safe.
Aye, farewell, Studley. Thank you.
See you later,
And
lad.
he just kind of saunters off into the forest, makes no attempt to be stealthy or anything now that you've seen him, just walks off. And I think we'll take a short break there. Oh, go ahead, John.
No. I was going to say wait until he's gone. It's a fucking setup, lads.
I think. No.
We're going to a break now, if you like.
Nothing else to do. Fuck 'em.
I will do that, Brian.
So yeah, I think we'll take a short break because I know our other player has showed up, and so we'll give him a chance to get in and maybe take a short break for ourselves, and we'll be back in a few.
Oh,
See you
yeah.
in 13 minutes, troops. And we're back with 5 of us this time. 6 of us, including Brian.
Oh, I don't count. I'm just a voice. So, yeah,
Welcome,
Will
Brian.
Studley has sauntered off, and welcome, Brian. I basically had your character introduce yourself, but if you would like to get into it more, you can. They all kind of talked to each other, met Will Studley, received a mission and a bit of a side quest directly from Stutley. The mission is from, apparently, the Robin Hood, it seems like.
Oh.
Mr. Hood himself,
but-
aye.
But Stutley has given you a potential target for some filthy lucre, as it may be.
We saw a map as well of
You did see a map.
the area.
I will tell both Brian and John, because you're both scouts, your assumption is that based on where you're going from southern Sherwood to basically southeastern Sherwood to northwestern Sherwood is probably at least 2 days, day and a half, 2 days. But that's going to depend upon how you guys do on your journeys, because journey is a system in this game, which is nice. So, what is the plan? You know that there's a noble traveling along the road at some point that may be a good target for some financial gain, as it were. And you know that you have to be at Haycourt to help them within 3 days.
And we shadow the road. Maybe find a pinch point, set up a blockade of some description. I think we just play that one by ear. But I'm more concerned about the Haycourt thing. So if I were a paranoid man, I would think, A, how do we know this bloke wants to rob? How do we know we're not just being set up? And B, maybe we're being sent off to this because it's a suicide mission, which is obviously a mortal sin. And the merry men don't want to risk any of their own, so they find some disposable bastards they can send in their stead.
Well, he did say that they have other things that they're dealing with right now, to be fair. You could be right, but he did say that. Would anybody like to make a test to try to see if you know anything about Will Stutley or the Merry Men?
Anyone?
Sure.
I'll try.
I'm
Yeah,
wise.
It'll be a
I-
wise. It'll be a wise test.
You just click the wise button.
So
then?
if you
It's not
no, you
No.
still need to click the roll a test, but you're going to add a die for being
For having
wise.
been wise. Okay.
If you all want to work together to try to remember, well, I was going to say
Too
that
late.
you could potentially
Too
get a
late.
bonus die, but
Who's
yeah,
the-
too late. So you made the roll on your own, and you failed.
Yeah, I was just trying to see if I remember or heard anything.
Okay, yeah. Anybody can make the test, but if you have wise, you can add a bonus die.
No, hang on a minute.
There you go.
I don't
Simon remembers.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know a thing.
So, Simon remembers that, Will Stutley is associated with Robin Hood and the Merry Men. You think you maybe have even seen like a wanted poster for Will Stutley, and it certainly looks like this gentleman. So I would say that you are as certain as any man can be in this world that that is in fact Will Stutley, and that he works with Robin Hood and the Merry Men. Now, as far as to the rest of your thoughts, that's on you.
No, it is him. It is him. I've seen woodcuts. Unless they found someone who's got the same blades and the same pauldrons and all his fancy kit. No, that was definitely him. That was definitely him.
Okay, so we need to. Are we sticking to the road or near the road, waiting for this noble, but heading to Haycourt, which is the main
Well-
thing we need to do?
I mean,
Well, I think Simon suggested you stick to the road.
Yeah, we want to move quickly. We'll stick to the King's Road anyway.
We'll probably need to find a good place if we can like set up a trap or something. Throw a couple pieces of long wood across the road because they don't want the horses to get, if they're riding, get the horses lame from being broken legged.
I think we just block off in front of them, wait till they turn up, block off behind them, and we'll see what he's got.
Okay.
Mhm.
So if you want to head up the road then, or at least close to it, again, like I said, you don't necessarily have to travel on the road, but within sight of it and keep an eye out for
We've got to
this.
head west to the road
this
first,
guy-
haven't we?
You do. So travel in this is not like, it's not hex oriented or anything. It's just kind of a narrative bit. But I do need you to decide who is going to make the scouting roll.
All right.
So
One of you two.
it will be an aware test, and others can assist.
I'm
You
aware.
have another scout in your party.
Oh,
Yeah, I say yeah.
I'm not a scout, but I have
The two
aware.
scouts
Does
have
that mean
a-
I can make an assist?
Well, anybody can assist. All of you can assist. It's just one bonus die. But whoever wants to make the roll, if you have aware, that's going to give you a bonus. If you have scout, that's going to give you a bonus. And if you're receiving assistance, so that'll give you a bonus.
I just have scout. I don't have
Oh,
aware.
it says here you gain a bonus die to unaware, to test, to search for, gather, or spot something. So that's my part of my scavenger. I get an extra bonus dice on it. So does that mean I would have 2 bonus dice if I rolled on it? Because I've got aware.
Not for the travel roll though.
Not for the travel.
Yeah,
roll.
scavenging is different.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like specific to what your activity
It
is.
says to search for, gather, or spot something. So if this roll was to spot something, it would count. But we're not spotting something,
Then
right?
it would, correct.
Right, okay,
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah.
Okay, someone else roll, but that's cool that I've got that for fighting shit.
Does Simon have aware, or is Simon?
He does not have aware.
So Simon and Edward are kind of on the same level then. They both have scout.
Yeah.
So either one of you can make the roll. Pick somebody. Somebody has to do the scouting today. Somebody else will do it tomorrow.
Bear with me a
I'll
moment,
do
because
it.
I'm
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
writing
So
everybody's
do I
names.
get
for
one
my
for the
notes.
scout, or can I only do it because it's scout?
So you do get a bonus die for scout, and you get a bonus die because I assume people
I'll
are
at least
helping
be
you.
help-
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
at least be
Yeah.
helping. So
Yeah.
Go on in. Yes, go on.
Yay!
there you go.
Okay, there's a 6.
We got a 6.
So, as you travel throughout the day, it's relatively easy to find your way to the King's Road. You know, you basically just have to head west. And then you are going to keep an eye on the road as you head north along it, mostly north, kind of northwest at some points. But yeah, you figure you're doing fairly well with the time. As you travel, though, everybody, even the scouts, so even you, John, can engage in another activity as part of travel. Now, this is where you might get into some things that might be helpful for you if you want to, like you said, set up a blockage in the road or set up an ambush or something like that. There's several different activities that are possible that you can do as you're traveling. And you need to keep in mind that there are things that you're going to have to do tonight as you camp, because you're not going to make it to the village tonight. Cold is a problem. You are in the time period, believe it or not, where there's essentially an enhanced ice age going on. So the nights are very cold in England. And if you do not have a fire and you do not have shelter, that can be a problem for you.
I made a point to get a tinder
So-
box so we can start a fire at least. It's one of my
Well, that's
things
good,
I've
but
got
you will need to gather wood as well. So gathering wood is, yeah.
Quick question. I'm just for tidying up my notes, make sure I've got everything. I'm Nicholas Dunnett, Scavenger. Trousers is Simon of Osberton, and what was your talent?
He's a scout.
Scout. Who's John of Northwick? Is that Dave?
Me.
And what's your talent?
He's a forager.
Okay.
I'm also tall, brave, and strong.
Edward of Foston is
Me.
Brian.
Brian.
And I'm a scout.
Scout.
Also a scout.
And David of Foston is Max.
Camera's frozen, I think.
The camera's frozen.
Oh, I think Max is frozen, actually.
Yeah, we may have to take a time out.
Are you there, Max?
You
Meditation.
might just come back. We'll give it a second.
he's- He's out.
Yeah.
What was his talent?
Oh,
We'll
You
recover
can
him
click
in a
on his
moment, but
character
I'm
sheet.
still writing notes about him. I still want to know.
David is
No, Max.
Oh, the
A
surf.
surf.
Aye, David O'Fuston, he's a surf.
He is strong. Well,
Right.
he doesn't have the trait strong, but he gets a bonus die to shove, lift, or hold onto heavy objects, smash down barricades, break open chests, force open doors. He's tough.
Let's have a timeout
Hit the
and
top.
recover our Max. Our Max is
Yep.
frozen.
Yeah.
We're back. That didn't take long.
Okay. So, camping at night, the things that you're going to have to be concerned about this evening are cold and making sure that all of you have sustenance.
Mhm.
So, in order to cover those ends, you need to either have food and water or ale, or you need to forage for food and water. For cold, you need to either build a fire or build some kind of structure to protect you. And again, this is something that one person can do when you make camp. That's not like a separate action. But in order to do these things, you need to make some gathering or scavenging rolls. So let me just run through some things that you might do. And if you have another thought, let me know by all means, because this is not the end all be all. But some basic activities that you can do while you're traveling are, let's see, chopping, which would be getting some wood. Cooking's later, escaping, fencing good. Foraging, which would be finding useful things. Gathering is kind of the same deal, but gathering is usually specifically for things for crafting.
Mhm.
Harvesting, but you guys don't have any crops. Hunting, if you can find something to eat. You're not in a town, so that's
Presumably
not going to be helpful.
for hunting, this is all kind of like once we've actually got to our camp, we can go and do these things. You're not just like walking down the road and I'm just going to nip off and do a bit of hunting and then
So,
come and meet you 100
not-
yards down the line.
Not the hunting necessarily, but like some of the gathering, perhaps.
Yeah.
You
'Cause I've
say,
got-
there's some stuff
I've got
I
like
can
a-
grab.
I've got a snare, so if I wanted to like.
Oh,
find, like, a
okay. So
rabbit
yeah,
hole
you could
and
do.
stuff.
You could actually do trapping instead of hunting to try and catch something for food. Yeah, absolutely. Now, all of you are going to be able to engage in a single action, either as a part of the journeying or when you make camp. And then all of you are going to be able to, potentially gather some things to be able to use. It doesn't look like, well, it's not on the list, so I know you don't. Nobody has food, nobody has water, so you're going to have to take care of that.
Yep. So imagine.
And when it comes to gathering those things, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say trapping, like John's asking about, would be a static activity. Some of them you could do while moving, like gathering. Some of them would be a static activity while camping. So another one like fishing would be one of the available ones while static, right?
If there is a suitable place to fish
And
where
then-
you
so
nearby
does
where
that
you
mean-
camp, yeah, absolutely.
Does that mean a fishing rod would be a second bonus dice?
No, a fishing rod lets you do it.
Oh,
It basically gives you
just can't-
permission.
right,
It doesn't give
okay.
you a bonus.
You just can't do it
Yeah.
at all without an actual. Somebody has to have an instrument to do it
Unless
with,
you want to like
right?
go and tickle some trout.
Or you can't do it at
Right,
all.
right.
Aye, got you. So I've got a fishing rod, so fishing is an option, basically.
You can't, and like John brought up, he has a snare. You can't trap if you don't have something to trap with, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, that's where crafting talents come into play when you're doing longer games, right? I'm sure if we were playing over a longer period of time, each of you or a few of you would probably pick up like blacksmithing or carpentry, and so that you can make some of these things that you would then be able to use.
Yeah.
But as it stands right now, you're just starting out. So my suggestion is you're going to need somebody to get some food. You're going to need somebody to get some wood so that you can start a fire so that all of you are warm. Beyond that, it's kind of up to you. When it comes to food and water, I think the if you look at your talents, Dave is really good at that because
Yeah,
he's a
so I get a
forager.
bonus on to locate.
He gets a
food
bonus on
or-
how much he finds.
Oh,
which is
okay.
important. Generally, when you're foraging and scavenging for things, kind of across the board, you find X number of items equal to half of your normal amount of traits.
Gathering.
So since all of you have 4 traits, you would usually find 2 traits.
So gathering,
Or 2
because
items, as it were.
that's one where I've got a extra bonus dice, so gathering. So that would be
You can do that as...
mushrooms and berries and stuff, wouldn't it?
Right, which could be food. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could also... Scavenging is an interesting one because you could also potentially find useful items. Like I would conceivably allow you to be like, oh, I want to find a big sturdy piece of wood that I can use as a club so that I have a weapon. I'd allow that. You'd have to roll the test, but I'd allow that, right? Because that's what scavengers do. You could even potentially be like, oh, I want to see if I can find like a discarded fishing pole that somebody left in the woods, right? Because sometimes people just leave stuff. So, yeah, let's just go through. Brian, is there anything that you think you would look for or want to do either as you're traveling or as you make camp, knowing that nobody has food, there's no fire yet, nobody has wood to make a fire?
I'd probably be gathering wood.
Okay. So, gathering wood is an aware test.
Okay, no bonus dice.
No bonus dice.
But hey, I got a chance.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
There you
And
go.
you succeed.
There you go.
So, you find 2 units of wood. A single unit of wood is enough to basically have a campfire going all night.
Sweet.
And those are separate units of wood as far as your goods are concerned. So,
Okay.
because each one is like a bundle.
So wood and wood. 2
Yep.
trees. There we go.
Dave, what are you thinking?
Well, I'm a forager, so I can do that as we're walking, and I can forage the grasses and the berries.
Here
and things
you
like
can
that.
kind of work together. Like, you would know at some point that Edward has found enough wood for the evening. So what do you want to look for? Food, water?
Food. 'Cause I mean,
Food.
if we're traveling, water would be something I'd look for when we get to where we're camping, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of, we're doing all at once, right? So the assumption
Okay.
is you've been traveling and you're gonna find,
Food. I'll go with food.
So, okay. So you get a bonus die on your aware test to locate food, water, or medicinal plants.
So it's roll a test +1, yes?
+1. Yep.
Very nice, Dave.
And you succeed. So
you made
you
it.
find 2 units of food. Not enough for everyone, but you find 2 units of food.
Do I add this into my inventory?
Yeah, so you can just put, whatever, like berries, nuts, food, into 2 separate slots, because each one takes up a slot.
You got it.
Hardtack.
Well, I don't think he's just gonna find that.
Yeah, no, it's something
That'd
that's
be
found.
really funny.
First
I don't
of all,
know that
I
I'd trust
wouldn't
eating
even eat
that.
it.
Right. Max, you guys now have
Why
2
not?
units of food. Actually, I think if you look for food and water, you find both.
Ooh.
I don't think it's that punishing
Yeah,
that you have to look for them separately.
Well, I have a flask.
yeah,
I mean,
Max,
I
what
don't
are you
know how
thinking?
much that will help with water.
So a flask generally holds 2 units of a liquid.
Okay. So yeah, I would probably say if I can find like a clear enough stream or something to fill it up with water.
Oh no, it is that punishing. 1 meal of food, 1 drink of water, or 1 medicinal plant. So yeah, you found 2 units of food. You guys don't have any water yet.
Wow.
It's not as bad as it sounds, so bear with me. Let's just find what we can.
I didn't take a
So
bottle
Max,
in
what are
the
you looking
end.
for again? Sorry, water?
I'm gonna try to see if I can find any water because I have a flask I can put some water
Okay.
in.
Cool. Yes, because you also need something. The food, you don't necessarily. I mean, the assumption is you wrap it up maybe in your loose shirt or something if you don't have a bag. But water, you definitely need something. So go ahead and make an aware test. I don't think you get any bonuses.
No.
So yeah, you're just gonna roll a test, no bonuses, to find water.
Oh,
And you do.
666.
You find right. You find 2 units of water, which will fill up your flask, which means that you also don't need to have an additional slot. It fills up your flask.
Mm-hmm.
So Max found some water. Oliver, what are you going to look for?
Well,
or
what kind of
do?
water did they find? Did they find a river? Because I could do some fishing with my fishing pole.
Sure, we can say that if you want to do some fishing.
I have a fishing pole. So
I'm good with that.
I'm going to use a fishing pole to get some food, hopefully.
Okay, so that would also be an aware roll, and technically fishing is gathering, so you're going to get a bonus from your scavenger trait.
Yep. Gaining bonus dice on aware tests to search for, gather, or spot something. So just add 1, yeah?
Uh-huh.
Sweet. Oh,
Ooh.
trust me to be the one that gets no 6s, eh? It's always me.
Right. Unfortunately, your fishing is unsuccessful. And that brings us to Simon.
I forgot
What's
to bait my
Simon
hook,
doing
lads.
and or looking for?
I forgot to bait the hook, I'm
Well,
sorry.
I mean, if we buy a water source, then we're gonna have animals nearby. So I'm gonna look for rabbit, badger, foxhole.
Okay. You're going to try trapping.
I'm gonna try some trapping. Yeah.
Trapping is a fortunate test.
Oh dear. I am unlucky. So this could go badly wrong.
Good.
Fine. So,
I do worse than me, mate. Everybody else has succeeded and I've failed. If you fail, then at least I'm not the only
Well.
failure. So
Fitting numbers.
it'll be
Trust me,
that
if he
bad a
fails,
thing
it's
if
not
you
as
fail.
bad as you think, at least in this case.
Oh yeah.
If he
So just
fails,
the
it means
standard
I'm not the only
next
one
dice?
that did.
Yeah,
so-
because I assume you don't have fortunate, so, and Scout doesn't help with the fortunate test, so yeah.
I am actually. Oh, go on.
Okay,
See?
you are successful. So you find a big enough coney or pheasant or hare or something like that to provide 2 units of food. So you can just put it in your goods as a single item, right? Like a coney or a hare, whatever you want it to be, and that. Okay, now
Very nice.
this is where it gets interesting. So when it comes to sustenance, generally you need to eat at some point, right? The assumption in this game is you might be able to like grab a few nuts and berries as you travel here and there to be able to sustain yourself. But the reason for getting food and water is when it comes to healing, right? So healing in this game is, I think, pretty interesting. When you lose a trait, that trait is just gone until you're able to recover it. And there are 8 methods of recovery that you can do each day, but each one has certain circumstances, and you can only do each one once. So they include things like bandaging, drink, cup of refreshing water, ale, wine, and so on, food, leeches,
Oof.
treatment from a skilled person, healing, medicine, sleep, and warmth. So none of you are actually injured right now, so
Right,
technically
okay.
you don't need any of those things.
There's a few
But
different things. So being
If you
around the
got to a point
campfire
where
gives
you were
one,
injured,
the wee bit of sleep
Right,
gives you another.
exactly.
Yeah. Sorry.
So it's good to collect those things as you go, so that when you do need them, you're able to make use of them, right? I assume that with basically the way it would go down is with the food and the water that you've been able to collect and finding the river, maybe you're able to sustain yourself, and then you might spend the evening, maybe John cooks the catch and maybe even kind of semi smokes it or jerks it a little bit at the fire. This is narrative play, and so you still have those 2 units of food for a bit. Some things like food will go bad eventually, but usually it takes a few days. Usually it's by the end of the week if you haven't used it. So essentially like almost a full play session. then it goes bad and you have to find more next time. Water obviously doesn't go bad, but you know, you can't keep just meat in your bag forever before it's consumed.
I'm still processing jerk it a little bit by the fire. Sorry. Still processing that.
Well, you know. So yeah, that's basically how a journey goes. Is you have these activities that you can engage in as you're journeying. Had the scouting roll failed, it would have increased the amount of time it takes to get to where you're going. Essentially.
Quick question, Brian.
Yeah.
My character doing the foraging and ability to find medicinal plants, are they a healing item, or does that have to be brewed into a healing?
That's a good
thing?
question. So medicinal plants, this is how, even though this is a narrative game, it can get kind of interestingly granular. Medicinal plants are used to make medicine by a healer.
Yep.
So that means they can be sold to a healer.
Yeah. Okay.
But unless you're a healer, you don't use the medicinal plants by themselves.
Well, you could use that as use that as like a sort of economy for you to earn.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Something you can sell.
Like
if you can't
Or
make
to barter
medicine,
for
but
something,
you can
right?
identify what's needed to make it, then you can pick that when you see it and make money off it. Right. That's cool.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
You can't just like pick nettles,
Okay.
eat them, and heal hit points, but you could make some money off them.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
that's cool.
Exactly.
Got you.
Okay. So, that was your first night, and I need you all to declare one person as a lookout, and they're going to make a fortunate test for me. They do not get assistance.
Is anyone aware? Unfortunate.
Probably don't want it to be Simon.
Oh no, aware doesn't matter. If it's a fortunate test, it doesn't matter if you're also aware or something, does it? You don't get 2 dice.
No, it's a fortunate. Fortunate is a trait.
Just yeah. So
Yeah, you don't
so,
want me
yeah.
to do it either.
I'm not fortunate. Is anyone?
Oh, is Edward also unlucky?
Yes.
Oh my God, we just randomly ended up with 2 unlucky scouts.
Great.
Great.
Just what we need.
That's great.
Just
That's
what
funny.
we need. We thought we were jamming because we've got 2 scouts. No, we've got 2 unlucky scouts. So we're going to go the wrong way or the
Unlucky
wrong
scout.
way. Excellent.
Oh, and I also happen to be scared and restless, so
Oh my gosh.
Great. She'll just run away the wrong way
Okay.
as well.
So obviously neither of them is going to make the fortunate test. Who's going to?
Between me or Max? I've not.
Uh,
Oliver could do it too.
Oliver, sorry, yeah.
None of us have got fortunate, so I think we're all just the same, aren't we?
Much of a muchness, isn't it? Really, it's
Yeah, so somebody needs to make the roll. I don't care who.
I'm aware, so I feel like I'll just roll it anyway. Like I feel like that's the next best thing, even though there's no mechanical advantage of it. I'm aware, so I'll make a perception roll. I just add
Go
0
right
dice.
Hey,
Hey,
Nice.
that's-
There you go.
So,
So I'll give you a little bit, since this is a one shot and I'm trying to pimp this game a little bit. I'll give you a little bit of a look behind the curtain. I am deciding to do it this way. Obviously, people can do it however they like. I'm actually using your roll as the random roll on the table in the book.
Okay.
So I'm taking it's a D66 table,
So you're
and I'm
two of
using the
dice that I've
first 2
rolled.
numbers for the D66 table. In addition to that, since you succeeded, that means that your encounter is going to happen during the day, meaning tomorrow. If you had failed, it would happen in the middle of the night and you would all be fatigued.
Okay.
So, all right.
Nice little
So,
roll I did there.
You have
then.
a relatively peaceful evening. And doing whatever you do with your gathered materials, cooking them, saving isn't the right word, preserving them as best as you can, smoking them, for example, and maybe wrapping them up in some non-toxic leaves and whatever. I'm not a survivalist, so I don't know what you would do in situations like that, but you have a nice evening and you take care of all that stuff and you head out again in the morning. Now, it was a very good roll. that you made with that lookout, because not only did you succeed so that the encounter happens during the day, but if I remember correctly, I'm trying to get to the encounter table. What color? I forgot what color I made it. Was it yellow? I think I made it yellow. Uh-oh. Oh, we're fine. Yeah, and 11 to 16 means no encounter occurs, and your first two numbers are 15. So, yep. So you guys travel on in the morning. I will say... Oh, first we need a scouting check from somebody. And since we have 2 scouts, I am going to require that it be Brian today instead of Simon.
I'm gonna take it. Simon's helping.
I would assume so. Is Simon helping with the scouting role?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Abe's paused on my end, Brian. I don't know if you've done it on purpose.
Oh.
There we go. Sweet.
Ooh,
Nice.
Ooh, 3 6s.
Oh, 3 6s.
So it is fun to watch the multiple 6s, but I will remind
Does they
everyone that
matter?
all you need is one, and extra 6s don't matter.
2 spare. He had 2 spare. It's still. I still feel like it's better. He rolled 1 with 2 spare. It's better than rolling 1. It's still. It still feels better for me. Like
That's fair. That's fair. So yeah, as you are traveling today, you are coming to the point, if you recall from the map, where it was clear on the map at least that another track that initiated from further up the Trent River on the southern edge of Sherwood kind of came in kind of a northwesterly and connects. And you can hear a significant way in front of you, because the road, I guess we can switch to the road now since you are following the road. Didn't I have the road up here? Did I not?
we're still at the green teeth.
Oh yeah, here we go. So as you're traveling up the road, it is a bit of I mean, for lack of a better term, a tunnel of greenery, right? Mm-hmm. And while you're traveling off to one side, sound does carry, particularly in an enclosed and yet kind of tubular space. So you can hear hoofbeats in the distance.
Coming towards us or going the other way?
Heading in your direction. You know that the intersection of that side track and the main road is still ahead of you. But yeah, it sounds like... Actually, let's have somebody give me... Or let's have all of you give me an aware test.
So here's the one where I'll get a bonus, because I'm looking out for something now, because I heard horses, so I'm looking for horses. So this is where I do get the bonus
Okay,
test.
yeah, I'll give you a bonus. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this is 2 bonus dice, because I'm aware I get a bonus dice on aware to search for, gather, or spot something. Because of the talent, yeah. Cool. Watch me fail with 2 bonus dice.
No, you didn't.
I didn't.
No.
Came out.
So, David, maybe not quite as aware, but everybody else really hears, like, if you focus in on it, it sounds like it's just one horse. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't people on foot, but it sounds like a single horse.
And is this the direction that we were told the merchant was coming?
Correct.
This is the road.
Noble, not merchant. Noble.
Sorry, Noble.
How about
Yeah, noble.
one of us could lie down in the road and pretend to be injured, while everyone else stays out of sight?
Aye. Get him doing off his horse.
And if there's enough that we could take him, everyone just jumps out and fucking does them in.
Fucking do him. Just fucking
would
give
say
him the
that-
old 1-2. Fuck you. Yes,
Yeah,
mate.
well, I was
yeah,
saying if we
yeah.
could find any big sticks, I was like, we could always find some big limbs or something to use
The
as
old
gloves.
left, right, good night.
Kiss me.
So you do have
Yes,
gathering
yes,
tests
man.
today. I will if somebody wants to attempt to scavenge and potentially find a decent enough club to use,
I am definitely going to
keeping in mind that technically it will be an improvised weapon, so it'll give you a bonus die, but it could potentially break.
I would like to try and use my aware skill to get that bonus dice to look for something specific then, Brian. I would like to look for a good shillelagh stick. You know, a stick with a good knot on the end. Like a good thing like that.
Yeah.
Like a wooden mace sort of thing.
Aye, a wooden mace, basically. So it's,
Sure, go
it's
ahead.
a stick with a good knot of like where the other branches were, and you cut those branches off, so it's got a big ball.
Yeah, I get what
on
you're
it.
saying.
Ooh, shillelagh. It's a big Irish fucking cool thing. I want to try and find one of them.
I'm very familiar with the idea of a shillelagh. Yeah.
Oh yes.
So that's 2 bonus dice with a talent. Let's get one of them. Come on.
Uh-huh.
Here we go.
So, you find 2 items.
Ooh.
One is a shillelagh. Is there anything else you might consider? It's your call.
Now I've
You're a
got,
scavenger.
now I've got to try and spell that, mate. I should not have done shillelagh. I should have just said club.
Call it a club. It's a club.
There's a
I wanted
club.
the shillelagh though. Now I've got to spell it.
It's
Fuck.
a D&D druid spell. I mean,
Aye,
come on.
aye. Right, let's try. Is it like that? Shillelagh? Something
Don't
like
ask
that.
me to spell it. I'm not going to
Oh,
try.
my
I'd
days,
have to
that's
look it up. And I'm
embarrassing.
not doing
Yeah,
that
I
right
would
now.
look it up.
I'm going to Google it.
Shetlatley.
So while he's doing that
there we
and
go.
figuring out what second item he wants to find, does anybody else want to use their action now before this engagement, or do you want to hold off?
I got my trusty knife.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Is there any chance I can find see if there's like a kind of like a rotted tree or something in the area that I can knock over to throw it and get in the middle of the woods, like in the middle of
Yes.
the road?
To make a barrier? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll let you roll to do that. It's an aware test because you're searching
Okay.
for something.
All right.
Sorry, I was so wrapped up in spelling shillelagh. What was the second item, Brian?
Yeah.
Uh,
What do you
up to you.
think? It's your choice. Do you want to find a second shillelagh to give to somebody else? Do you want to find a long straight stick that might be usable as a spear?
Find a stick.
I was going to
I've
say,
got a
let's
knife and I can sharpen it.
let's
Find
find
me a
let's
stick.
let's find a really good, really straight but sturdy 6 foot long that you could make a nice spear out of. Then there we go.
Okay, sure. So somebody can make an improvised spear. Yeah, absolutely.
Shillelagh and a spear. And I think I've spelled it correctly. I
So
think.
unfortunately, Max, you don't find anything close enough to the road that would be useful in this case. I will remind you, however, though, and again, I'm not trying to tell you who needs to do what, but we're all new to this game. Edward, I believe, still has a bundle of wood. That might be usable to make a barrier, but you might also want to keep it so that you have a fire tonight, because it does take wood.
I'd say keep it because I'll just lie down in the road and it gets his curiosity.
Okay, so John of Northwick is going to lie down in the road. What are the
Yes,
rest of you going to do to prepare for this?
I'm just
Probably a
gonna
good
hide
idea to hide around.
just off the side of the road.
Are you
close
confident
enough to
he's
John.
just going to ride his horse over the top of you?
Well,
Did it sound like he was? He's not galloping, is he? Because the travelling.
No,
it's you.
Doesn't sound like a gallop. It sounds like a canter.
I think it's
Yeah.
a case of 2 of us one side of the
A
road
trot.
and 2 of us the other side, isn't it? Really?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And then if he does decide to just ride round me, just fucking jump out anyway.
Aye, exactly. I'll hit the other side of the road with you, Brian.
Okay.
Edward, Mr. Foston.
So that's what we're doing. I love it. I love it. I hate a little bit that John's in my head, but I love it. So switch to this. All of you see this nobleman riding up. He's wearing some kind of a mask, kind of a full helmet, kind of casque.
That's Ponce.
He does have a coat of plates on, and a shield on the side of the saddle, as well as a spear that he's holding in one hand. But there are no attendants. There are no guards.
Who's this guy?
It
Think
is
he
just
boys?
this.
A mask on.
To use Oliver's term, it is just this poncy looking. He does appear to be potentially a knight.
I want to punch him just for wearing that mask. Like, who are you? Fucking settle down,
the
mate.
thing is, shoot, like,
You're in the woods.
well, you know what it is that if this is the style of, like, you know, real medieval armor,
He thinks he's a G.
this
Yeah,
shit is heavy.
He thinks he looks cool.
yeah, if you knock the horse, to its side, he is pinned by the horse, and it'd be hard as hell for him to get up.
It's a military horse.
Horses-
Horses,
knock that
yeah,
stupid
but a
mask.
horse is a very valuable thing.
That's why they use them.
Slap that stupid mask right off his face.
You can't push them over.
That's understandable, but is that if we're trying to fight against a guy in armor and on top of a horse, yeah, that.
Well,
the
this
best
is why
thing.
hopefully he's
Five
gonna get
years
off his
though.
horse and
There's 5 years, remember?
yeah, fuck it. We can
Strength in numbers. We just all on top of him at the same time.
We all jump him.
Aye.
Hang
Just
on,
we all
hang on, hang on.
fucking jump him.
We don't have to. Let's just see if it's worth it. First of all, yeah, we might have
So,
to be carrying
It's
coins.
worth it because just even for wearing that mask, I was
I'm in the road.
just pretending
You
he had
can-
a 13-year-old bride just for a reason to not be bothered
Right.
about battering him, so I could batter him and not feel guilty about it. Now he's walking about wearing that mask. Who does he think he is? I'm going to slap that mask right off his face. That's good enough reason to jump him, just for walking about in the woods.
If I
like
may,
that. Sorry.
you can see as he gets closer, because he is cantering closer as you're all considering here.
Oh, I've just seen-
Maybe not Dave's character, because I assume you're kind of playing possum. But the rest of you can see that the mask looks to be finely crafted. It's probably sellable, worth some money. He does appear to have at least one ring that you can see. He has a purse. And there's a pack with some other things like saddlebags or a saddle pack of. So I mean, he has things that you can waylay him for, and he also has a spear and a shield and a horse and a coat of plates.
fuck this guy.
Oh, aye, mate. Fucking right. Look at him.
Is
Who
he-
do you think he is with that mask on?
Well, so does he have an arming sword on him or some kind of item?
You don't
such as that?
you don't see an arming sword. It
So
looks
that-
like the only weapon he's carrying
It's
is
a
that
spear,
spear.
What is that? A long
But
spear?
it
short
is
spear?
like
This is
I
on a
mean
horse.
it's an average fighting spear. It's the kind of spear you would use with a shield. But
Nothing-
it is like
nothing
it
like
is
that
a
thing that I
weapon.
just found
It is
in-
a crafted
Dave made,
no.
Nothing like that. Nothing as good as
It
that
is a
thing that we
weapon.
just made. Aye. Cool. Slap that mask right off his face. No bother, mate.
So he continues to canter forward. And
boys.
let's get an aware test from everybody again.
Okay, have I got the double bonus on this for the talent? Nah, because it's finding
No,
and
because you're not
scavenging.
actively
Yeah,
searching. This is
yeah,
just like awareness.
yeah, so it's just one for having aware, isn't it?
Yeah, correct.
Nothing
Oh,
over
that's
there,
actually
got one.
really funny.
Come on.
Oh, it's not.
So
Which one is it?
everybody except the guy in the road, everybody except John of Northwick, suddenly realizes he's not slowing down.
Oh
He's
no!
not speeding up either.
What did you do with the spear?
He
that you
doesn't-
made?
Well, let's put it like this. How do you know that he's a noble and you guys aren't? He's not covered in shit, is he?
Aye.
Yeah.
So he's not slowing down, and it dawns on you that it's very likely he's just going to canter directly over John.
Oh shit, John! You better stand up and fucking.
Or through him.
So I'm
Right,
aware that he's
right,
not
right.
stopping, I take it.
No, because
No,
you
you're
failed
not.
your role.
That's what
Everybody,
the
everybody
rules
else
are.
is aware and
But
you're
you look
not.
close to eyes, so you're looking unconscious.
You're looking the opposite way.
Yeah, you're
No,
fine.
his eyes are closed.
You
I
got
gave
into the
him
role
the
too
role to
much.
kind
You
of
fell
like
asleep.
work it out,
He's
but
been-
like,
Like that.
He's been
yeah,
there.
he's in the role.
He's been there for 2
he's-
seconds, but he got that into the role. He fell
We're
asleep.
gonna have to go in
Just
and
about to get your
stop him.
head fucking trampled by a horse. We're all like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, and you're just like,
That was the plan, though. If he doesn't look like he's stopping,
we're
jump out on him.
gonna have to just fucking rah just now, guys.
I'm gonna give you a roll to react, but like he's basically gonna try and ride right over you.
Yep. I'm gonna shout, get up.
We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this to get it started. First of all, I'm gonna use my fun little macro.
This guy better fucking pray I don't survive this, because he's even thinking of just riding.
He was going to just run right over you, mate. His horse was going to stand on your face.
Yeah, if I can do what I want to do, I might be able to do something.
So, everybody except John of Northwick, not to be confused with John the player. Everybody except John of Northwick gets to make a cunning test to see if you are able to get the drop on this night.
So if you don't have cunning, you just add 0.
You just add 0.
Yeah.
Dave, you're going to need, at the last moment when you realize he's going to ride right over the top of you, you're going to need to make an agile test to roll out of the way.
Damn.
I'm good at that.
Okay.
I've got an agile ability.
That's some
Okay.
success. That's 3 out of 4 S, was it? Aye. 3 out of 4, so not too bad. Hopefully, boys.
Right, so
Yeah, no, that's not bad.
you want an agile test, and I get a bonus because I've got it as a trait. Yes.
Yeah, apparently,
Correct,
because you're a fucking dumbass, mate. Sleeping on the job. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, so you, everybody, man, sorry, Max. Everybody except David of Foston is going to be able to get an action in first before we go into regular rounds. Basically, you get an ambush. Obviously, John of Northwick, his action is just rolling out of the way once he realizes that he's not stopping. So I would like to hear what I'll go through just in the order that you are on my screen. Brian, what are you going to do as this guy is about to just ride over top of John? You notice that John rolls out of the way, so you don't have to save John. He's good. But what is your first action? Be narrative. What are you doing?
So, I'm hiding in the bush here. I'm going to jump out, dagger drawn, and I'm going to try to hook it into the saddle strap and cut the saddle strap.
Last one.
Okay, I like that.
I like that.
So-
So that's hero shit if you pull that off, like.
Yeah, it is.
I was just gonna stab a horse.
I was just gonna slap the guy in the head.
Horses-
with a
No,
stick,
cut
like-
saddle.
It's valuable,
Cut
man.
Horses
saddle.
are worth
And
so much money in this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth more than all
So,
else put together.
Normally, attacking with a dagger would be a brave test, but you're not attacking. You're trying to accomplish something. I'm going to call for dexterous.
Okay, I still don't have that, but go.
Oh, glad. I wish I had that. Oh, no,
Fuck
I
him
know
up,
I have
Brian,
that.
fuck him up.
Okay,
No.
so you jump out and you get your dagger in there, but you're not able to get purchase to cut the leather as you pull your dagger free. But you do startle the rider, and he's like, "Oh man!" And the horse stops. He pulls it to a stop, and that's your action. Next, Oliver, your
yes,
ambush
come on.
action.
So, I mean, it's not pretty. It's not quite half as cool as what Brian just done there. I'm going to try and, while he's distracted by him trying doing that, try and catch him off guard, and I'm going to two-hand swing baseball bat, try and take the shillelagh and literally try and take that mask right off his face.
Oh, okay.
Like, so I'm going
So-
to hit him round the head with a big stick.
He is quite a bit higher than you.
Aye, so it's going to be a...
But yeah, I mean that's a melee attack. So that'll be
you
brave.
say that, Brian, but remember, I'm tall.
Oh, you are tall.
I am
That's
tall, remember. So it's not
You
that
are
high
tall.
up. I am tall, everybody. So I'm gonna fucking. I'm not even
For
gonna have
once,
to
he's
jump.
happy to be
I'm
tall,
gonna-
or can
oh,
be tall.
I'm loving it, Max. This is a dream come
So
true.
that is a straight up melee a test, which is brave.
Sweet.
When you're using a weapon. You will get a bonus +1 because you're using the weapon.
Mhm.
And then after you make that test, you're going to need to make a fortunate test to see if it breaks, because it is an improvised weapon.
So it's +1 for brave and +1 for the weapon. It's +2.
Do you have brave?
Yes.
Oh yeah, then yes, you get +2.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Camo.
Nice.
Camo.
Okay.
Oh,
So
And then a roll of fortune.
you succeed. You hit him, and the mask kind of gets pulled to the side. He's not blinded or anything, but it definitely gets, he's discombobulated, and you have done some damage to this man.
Did I
Now,
get the mask
if
off
this
him?
were
Did
an
I actually
ordinary
slap the mask
foe-
off his head, Brian? Because that's the dream.
No.
Oh.
No. If you just kind of rocks it to the side. And it is it's hard to see in the picture because I manipulated it, but it is kind of like on a strap. It's not like a full cask. It's just a mask, so he can still see. But were this an ordinary foe, you would have felled him in one hit.
But I am
He's still
tall.
atop his horse.
Oh, jeez.
So this is no ordinary foe. So that's your action.
And
That brings us to
You wanted a
Trousers. What
fortunate
is your
test first to
ambush
see if,
action?
my weapon broke.
Oh yeah, fortunate test to see if the shillelagh breaks.
So is that +0 or
Ah,
+1
yeah.
because it's a shillelagh? It's plus nothing,
No, it's
right?
+0.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Come on. Doesn't
it does not.
Doesn't break twice.
Nice.
Live to smack another day.
Yeah.
You've
Listed.
paid the not-stopping tax. Now for to pay the passing tax, lads.
100%
Go on,
rates.
empty your pockets.
Okay, so are you trying to intimidate him?
Yes,
Give me a charismatic test.
I'm not charismatic.
Does he get a bonus
no,
test
no,
for
still trying.
having just been smacked in the coupon? That's a bonus.
No.
Ooh.
Interesting. Okay.
Success.
So he
We're spilled enough blood today. Coin will do fine.
okay. So all right.
And the mask. I want the mask.
yeah.
There's no getting away without the mask.
I'll.
You're obsessed with that thing.
He really is.
He's like a dog with a bone. Once he's got it in his mind, that's
Yeah.
it. I want that.
So
That's
he
it.
Better
Fine.
believe it, mate.
he holds up his hands and he says, "You foul people!
What did you say? And I start swinging the stick. What did you say?
No need for incivilities.
Just to make him brown as trousers. a
I
wee bit.
shall give you my purse, but nothing more."
And the mask.
The rings.
Well, is he?
I will also give you the mask, but nothing more.
Am I up off the floor now, Brian? Am I stood up? And
Oh yeah.
That's fine for me.
So, is anybody going to continue to attack him, or are we resolving it like this?
no, I
Conveniently,
want that.
that is the exact toll for today.
that-
Like a purse of gold and a mask.
If that is
You
the
know.
exact toll fare of the day, so you are very lucky you had that on you.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You nearly went past me. In fact, you didn't go past me. You nearly fucking ran me over. I want them rings on your fingers.
Yeah.
All right. So, I will need another charismatic test.
Or another smack in the head. Either way, I'm fine, mate. Either way, I'm fine.
There we go.
Nice. Okay.
Oh,
Nice.
Fine. I'll give you all of my valuables, but I shall relinquish nothing else.
Grab the horse as well.
For his own private thing.
And then Brian pipes up, "Oh, that's a nice horse, aye."
He's seen our faces though.
No, he's not, because
Yeah,
I'm
seen
wearing
your
a mask.
Now you might be.
I'm wearing a
Okay,
mask. He doesn't
so
see my face.
Are you just taking his goods, or are you going to try and take him down and take his weapons and the horse?
No, just let him go. No.
Honestly happy with the mask, mate.
Okay.
That's
Well, in the saddlebags. We
over
want
the moon with the
saddlebags.
mask.
Well, yeah, he said all of his valuables, so he'll give you valuables. All right, so he pulls off the ring and the mask. Let's see there I am. And out of he also pulls from on a thin kind of leather hoop. necklace
Yeah.
cord around his neck. He pulls out some kind of like small looking charm that looks like something from like far Araby, far to the
Snatch.
east.
That'll go nice with my mask. Thanks very much.
And so he gives you that charm. He gives you. He pulls out a ton, like a carafe, sealed, from his saddle pack, and hands that over. He says it's fine oil, and takes off the ring. It's a hematite set ring.
It looks good on you, Dave.
It's
I
like,
grab a spear. This looks pretty fucking handy as well, to be honest.
I'll put this in my inventory, Brian.
Do you try to grab a spear?
Oh, we're
I'm
taking
thinking we could do with these weapons.
we're jacking all his shit. Yeah,
Nah.
why not? He was going to just run over this man.
That is not what he agreed to. Do you try to take his spear?
We've not finished yet, pal. Oh no.
Nah, I'll leave him with his weapon just in case.
Oh,
I'm fine.
sword.
I mean, they obviously
Put 'em
didn't do much good.
It's not done him much good. He better be a bit faster with it next time somebody fucking robs him. We're gonna let him live, so if he ever gets robbed again, he better be handy with that spear. That's what I'm gonna tell him. As I look at it, I'm thinking. I go to take it, and I'm like, nah. You need this more than I do, mate. You better get a bit handy with it.
Well, as you
next
reach
time.
for it, he pulls it away.
I'll say you're gonna need
So-
that, mate. You're gonna need that. We're gonna let you live today, and you'll need that next time, eh? Just be a bit quicker next time.
Okay,
You'll end up
okay.
losing all your shit and your mask.
So finally, he pulls off his purse and he hands that over to one of you. And if you open up the purse, you find. Now, look, if you're used to other games, this is going to seem like not much, but realize this is more money than most of you have seen in some time. His purse currently has. I lost it again. 12 pennies in it.
Whoa.
Ho, 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 ho.
Well,
So
very
there's 3, 6, 9, 12. I mean, 2 to 3 each for us.
Well, I've got a
Well,
feeling.
and also-
we go to our young mate.
Also, whatever you can do with the oil, the ring, the charm, and the mask.
Mm-hmm.
What? And it gives the pal.
Which the mask, by the way, is metallic. Like, it has weight to it.
I know it's heavy.
You also notice maybe
MF
why he was wearing the mask, because getting a closer look at him as you're engaging with him, he has just this gash down one side of his face, and his nose is partially kind of torn away. He's got a little kind of wooden cap.
Oh,
Like,
now
this
I
is
feel
this is a knight that's
No,
been
I don't.
in war.
Yeah. See, this is the problem.
He's probably
If
been
I-
in the
if we-
crusade.
Now you're making me
if
feel
we
bad.
let this guy go, we let him go, he's gonna come back at us.
It's fine.
Friends.
He has to find us first.
It's to find
It's
us
a big
first.
forest.
It's a one shot.
So if you're saying that, tell you what, Dave, why don't you make a virtuous test for me?
Oh yeah, my guy seeks
Okay.
honor. I've totally.
You're actually
my
fairly
character
certain
wrong.
he won't.
Okay.
Because it would be a different matter if you took the spear, the shield, the armor, or the horse.
Ah, okay. Okay.
But in just taking some valuables from him, he probably has more elsewhere.
Yeah.
Like this, whatever he was carrying is probably a pittance.
We've got to
Yes,
keep
yeah.
ourselves at a certain level, or we're going to get hunted.
So it's a case of go on then, pal. Fuck off. Pretty much.
Off you
So yeah,
skid-
he
off you
then
pop.
he then
Skedaddle.
kind of inclines his head almost respectfully and rides off, like he understands, like, oh, okay, this is the tax.
This is our way of life. This is how we get money to feed our families. You do your thing, you do ours. You know that.
Now that
you
doesn't
know
mean he's not going to report that he's been robbed once he gets to Nottingham, but he's probably not going to refer. None
guess-
of you use your names.
If us woods people, if the forest people go in their cities, they'll expect us to pay their city taxes. He's just a city person in our forest paying our forest taxes.
Right? Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
exactly what it is, eh?
And people get robbed in these woods every day.
Aye.
So
We let him
King
live.
Richard.
We let him live. That's a mark of respect in itself.
it's King John right now.
No, it doesn't know.
Oh no,
King
it's
Richard.
Prince John. He did not take the title of king yet.
Oh yeah, Prince
King
John.
Richard's too busy
It's Prince
killing
John.
Arabs. Yeah. And in fact, he never really liked being in England. Wish I could have Leon. He hated it. There you go.
I thought it was John. I thought that's what the book said.
No.
I
but
Best
you're
not to
Richard
start on
Richard
history
went
because
to
we've only got one shot,
handed
so
over to
we
King
better
John.
not best not
Yeah,
divert
that's fair.
into the
Okay.
history
Yeah,
lessons.
we could do that after.
We'll be
Yeah.
here all night.
Okay. So, you successfully waylay this noble knight, and so let's see. We can go back to some
Get it
regular
up, you mate.
music.
What was his name? Sir Poopsalot.
You didn't ask.
Sir
He didn't tell.
Well, his name's Sir Shitebag
Got
now.
that
'Cause he's-
description, so if we describe him, someone might know he's got that on his boat race.
Anybody get a good look at his shield?
Oh yeah, what was his heraldry?
I don't think so.
No, but you're gonna say it's got like a emblem on it, and
I mean,
It would have
he
some
has heraldry.
of course, what was his heraldry,
Yeah.
wasn't it? I'll say, do we remember? Because I wasn't thinking about it at the time, but at the time in character, if I was more in character, I would be remembered because it's a very important thing.
You can give me a wise test, anybody who wants to see if you can.
I'm
If
wise.
you bothered to look at the
I'll go
heraldry.
because I'm
I'm
thinking
wise.
I attacked the
I got
saddle
wise.
from that side.
Okay.
I rolled wise.
Nope.
Still no for David.
Wax
Edward,
again.
yeah,
Unlucky.
okay.
are we all doing it? Sorry.
If you want.
You want to?
So anybody who succeeds
Yeah.
did notice the shield. The heraldry is and I looked up how to describe this, so I'm gonna say it. Quarterly sable and argent with a bare head guardant over 10 in dexter chief. If you know what any of that means.
I know exactly what
Run that by
means.
me one more time, Ryan. Sorry.
Okay.
I was a herald in the Society for Creative Anachronism.
Oh,
for
okay.
10 years.
So
I know
a
what you guys-
quarterly
Right, I know what quarterly. would be.
sable
Nope, you lost
and
me already.
argent
Yep, you lost me.
Black and silver. Dividing
with a bare head guardant over 10 TENNE in dexter chief.
Okay, Chief.
Dexter's on
Oh.
the left. Tenny.
Yeah, Dexter's left. No, Sinister's left, Dexter is right.
Dexter's right.
Yeah.
So,
Chief
actually,
is upper.
so there's actual proper terms for the positions in that. Heraldry's cool.
There's
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so
exactly
you
proper
Yeah,
terms.
heraldry's cool, folks.
Shields.
For the
Fucking-
positions, the
Oh.
colors, yeah.
If you're a fucking nerd like us, heraldry's cool, aye. It's cool to us.
Yes, it is.
That doesn't mean it's
Now,
cool.
is that
It
a
doesn't
real knight?
necessarily
No,
mean it's
that's
cool.
a heraldry that I made up, but I used specific terms for it
Very cool.
in my notes.
Well, he's one less mask
Okay,
and one less
now-
ring now, Mr. Fancy Pants.
That still doesn't mean any of your characters know whose heraldry that is. That just means you saw it, you recognized it. But it's nobody big. Like, it's not. You would recognize the heraldry of the Sheriff of Nottingham. You would recognize the heraldry of John. You would recognize the heraldry of Richard the Lionheart. But
It's
you
Fancy,
wouldn't, like,
Fancy
this guy.
Pants Rich McGee. That's his name. That's all we need to know.
Yes,
Fancy
Fancy
Pants,
Pants,
Rich
Rich McGee. Okay. So yeah, you did well on your travel rolls though, so you're probably going to reach Haycourt by the evening. Is there any actions other than Oliver, who already used his? Oh, and Max, who tried to use his. Do the rest of you want to do anything as you're traveling, any gathering, or you just want to head into Haycourt?
I'm going to scout out Haycourt. Check it's got like not a palisade around it. It'll be like a little clearing village and things, isn't it?
Actually, it's interesting. So we'll get there in a second. Dave, Brian, you guys gonna do anything?
I'll just do a bit of foraging, see if we can gather a bit more food, just in case.
Okay, make a roll. Aware test. Oh, +1 for your foraging.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gonna
things are
forage
pretty
for
barren on
food.
the way up there.
I'll
Okay,
forage
Okay,
for
Brian's
food.
also gonna look for
Already
food.
I have wood.
Unlucky.
Also
No.
no. No luck on the way in. So once you get closer to the village,
Just need to rob someday.
the first thing that stands out to you is the village literally is in the forest. It is in amongst the trees. There's no plan necessarily. Obviously there are paths, but this is still a relatively new village, so it's not like tracks have been laid down by years and
Love it.
generations of people walking along certain paths.
Mhm.
In fact, it's even a little difficult to see as you move in until you realize, oh yeah, okay, there's some logs laid down to make a more stable path for when it's muddy. Oh, and there's the outline of a building right there, and oh, that's clearly like a cross piece. Okay, so yeah. And then once you're inside of it, there are several buildings. It looks like there's a blacksmith, which would make sense if they're close to a mine. They probably have not just a forge, but they're probably smelting some of the iron as well. And there are people around. They notice you as you, assumingly, head into the village, unless you want to do other scouting first, John. But there's no palisade. There's no walls.
I kind of want to gauge the size of the village and
Okay.
any potential entrances and exits. I
So
suppose.
the entrances are all over, right? Like there's no wall. Buildings don't really face even a uniform direction. As I said, this
Does it back onto a mine against the wall, or is the mine kind of like in the side of a hill?
So
or...
yeah, no, your understanding is the mine is relatively close, but it doesn't seem like it backs onto anything defensible. It's just somebody started building. It looks like somebody built a cabin in the woods, and then somebody else built another cabin nearby, and then somebody else built another one.
Okay.
I've never
And
romanticized
yeah.
the settings like for myself so much in my life. Like I want to just go live in the woods. I want to live in the woods in this little village, in this time, and fucking fight the sheriff's men and rob nobles.
Just
I don't want to be me
making them
anymore.
come
What
to
is
the
that?
roots.
No fair.
Actually, what's interesting is the image for this particular village I grabbed from Medieval Dynasty, which is a fun little game.
Superb
Yeah,
game. I've been playing the Japanese
Yeah.
version now as well. The Sengoku Dynasty.
Oh, I want to try that one, but I haven't picked it up yet.
It's sick
yeah.
fun. I got it. It's just the same thing in Japan.
Yeah,
It's sick.
right. So yeah, there are some people around, and if at some point you approach the village, I assume you do, especially as it begins to get dark and you see some of their cook fires and some probably some candles in some of the buildings. But as you approach the village, you are met by, or someone comes out who introduces himself as Solomon. Are you the men sent to help us?
Well, mate, we are, aye. We met with your friend. What's his name again?
Will.
Stutley. Your friend Stutley sent us, aye.
Oh, I don't know who that is, but
Oh,
we've
This is the
we've
village
sent
police.
messages in several directions. The sheriff's men, they're asking too much.
aye, we're here. to
Aye,
help.
they do that. They do that. They tend to do that with the weak and the people that
He
can't
seems-
afford.
He seems maybe a little affronted when you say the weak.
Sorry, poor choice of words. I mean, the normal folk, the everyday folk, the
Small folk.
We're
Oh,
good,
aye,
small
yeah.
folk, we're proper folk. Listen, we're going to help you slap the
I'll-
sheriff's men.
And
around.
he
That's
like
what
stands up straight and he says, "I'll have you know, we're not weak here.
Oh no,
I
just
I
have
was
a,
going
I have
to."
a bad choice of word. I do apologise.
It's good to know. And as miners, you've probably got access to bladed weapons as well, or bladed instruments, shall we say?
Oh no,
If
we're not.
they're coming to take what's yours, are you prepared to stand up for it?
You need
Are
to
you
defend
prepared to push back?
I will. I can't speak for anyone else in town. You'll have to
To let you know, though,
speak to them.
we are acting on the village's behalf, and if the sheriff gets wind of that, he's going to not take kindly to it. Are you prepared for that as well?
My hope is that it will be some time before word of this gets back to the sheriff.
Then let's do it. I'm willing to help you. Anything to stick something to that splat of a sheriff.
Mhm.
I came to the party. Yeah, I came to the party, mate. You're all good. I'm ready for it. My friends here all came to the party.
So he turns
as
to
well.
Simon and he says, "You'll forgive me, though. I understand your assumption that we might have blades. To now, we've been forbidden from forging such weapons. But now the requests have become greater and greater. There are some few of us, the blacksmith included, who have decided to begin to go against the proclamation from the sheriff, but
Pretty
we've
good
not
for
yet
us,
had
aye.
time."
How many are you in your village?
There are only 30 of us,
30.
but that includes women, children, fighters, people who might stand against the guard, myself, maybe a few others.
Well, +5 today, my friend. So
This is a one-way thing, though.
seems like today's the
We
day to do
stand
it.
up to this, and we take lives. We take no man lives today. They will come back.
How many guards
Not
does he
if-
usually send? What's the standard number to collect?
That's a good question.
Yes.
The last patrol was 5.
Okay,
Remember that they're not
okay.
expecting a rook. They're expecting to send a taxman down to go and bleed these people dry.
A collection, and that's it.
They're no expecting
expecting
somebody
us.
to be ready for a fight. Aye, it's gonna be it's a taxman coming round with a couple of guards. It's not a fighting force. It's a tax collector that's coming.
Oh,
This time,
it's
next
never
time,
a
they'll come.
taxman. It's always guards.
Aye,
Next
just
time
because
they'll come
But
in
as I
force.
said,
he's wearing armor and carries a sword doesn't make him a guard. He's a fucking tax collector, and we're gonna slap him about like a fucking tax collector, aren't we, boys?
so
Aye.
as you're in town and you
Sure.
start looking around, you do begin to notice a few things. First of all, you can hear the ting of a hammer against an anvil. And this late at night, as the sun sets and the forest grows dark, that seems odd. Most people in this time period would have stopped at sundown any work like that. The fact that it's continuing is telling.
Mhm.
You also notice as you're in town that there are large, great poles of wood that are being stacked kind of in one corner of town, maybe not quite as visible from the avenue in which you entered. They look very suspiciously like palisade poles to build a wall.
Love to see
But
it.
it's not anything that's going to happen overnight, right? And
No.
that is
Yeah.
exactly why they need help now.
So if we beat back.
So
this-
Solomon says, I will stand with you. The only other person I can think of that's here currently that might be able to help is Martin, the butcher. He's our hunter. He takes care of the meat, but he's not incapable.
When these guys come to the
I
village,
mean, he
to
sounds
collect,
tough.
do they
If they call
come
him the
into the
butcher-
village,
If they call him the
or do they
butcher,
come
must
out?
be tough.
Well,
do you meet them outside?
He's a butcher. Like, he's...
Aye, you didn't get called the butcher for nothing. He must be a mental case or something to be called the butcher.
No, it's because he's a butcher.
No, it's because he's a nutter. It's
So basically, are we just buying time here for you to get your defenses up?
Looks like
Yes, my hope is that. Look, I won't ask this of you, but if you can help us disable the guard, I will make sure that they're unable to return, and then it will take time for the sheriff to be aware that something has happened. Because this guard, this group, they hit several villages. It takes time for them to go through all of them.
Do they come into the village, or do you meet them outside the village?
They come, and he'll take you to where there's kind of a central communal kind of bonfire area that is currently lit. And you notice that you can't see those great big poles from the central area. And he says, "This is where I usually meet them."
I'm thinking it might be worth meeting them outside the village, doing them over on the road.
I know the track they would take. We could do.
Because then they won't attribute it to the village.
They still will, though. They were coming here. If somebody hits them, we're hitting them for the reason that they're coming here. They're still going to know it was somebody from here.
He was basically implying that if you help him disable the guards, he will remove them.
And the only other
that's where he's at.
Is if we're
so they're not going back if you disable them.
You get the women and children away, out of the way, in the home, locked up and stuff. Right, fine. Yeah, well, let's go.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm down for this.
He's open to the idea of waylaying them on the track and not letting them even reach town. Sure.
Well, do they have anything to spare that we can use as like maybe some kind of I would like maybe weapons or something?
We've not had a chance to finish any of them. All we have are a few blades that haven't been hilted yet, but beyond that, it's tools. I can certainly provide you all with some tools that can be used, but they're not built for war.
Do you have anything like sickles or?
Well, sure, but again, not built for war. That's actually a good question. Brian, make me a fortunate test.
How quick?
Oh no!
How quick?
You
is
asked.
Well, there's always a...
Oh no!
How quick is it to make a few metal spearheads? Because we've got loads of sticks. We're in the forest.
I mean, bow and arrows.
A few metal spearheads.
Oh no!
Okay.
I asked the question.
So how does your hindrance work?
Sadly,
Yeah,
you're
misfortune.
unlucky. You seem to be unusually unlucky and regularly suffer from misfortune. Whenever you make a fortunate test and the result is a failure, you are exposed to misfortune.
Okay, so let me go to misfortune. To answer your question, Oliver, while I'm looking this up, spearheads, it's not that easy. You don't just make a spearhead and stick it on a pole. Like there's a lot more that is done there to make a fighting weapon. Is it possible? Look, the point I'm trying to get to is you're not going to get weapons that you don't already have. Especially now, not with Brian having rolled the failure on the fortune.
What's this all about, Brian? What have you done?
Which I'm not even gonna look it up. That's the misfortune, is that anyone. I was considering the possibility of an axe or two, or even potentially a bow from a hunter, because the peasantry are allowed to wield bows for hunting purposes.
Yeah.
Not in the forest, obviously. They have to leave the forest to do that. And so that's the issue, is anybody with axes, all the axes recently have been broken and are under repair, being rehafted. So there are some axe heads, but none that are functional enough for war. And their hunter is gone on a hunting trip and cannot lend his bow.
I've got a sickle. That'll do me.
Is this a totally wild idea?
He will be able to provide everyone with a tool that can be used as a weapon. It just could break.
Yeah. You know what I'm going to do? And I'm just going to walk over, right? I'm going to walk over to where the hot metal is. at the blacksmith. And you know where they've got the actual little bit
Uh-huh.
of, it's like hot molten metal. I'm going to take my shillelagh and I'm just going to dip the ends or the wee stumps. Gonna walk right up and just dip it in. Metal tip my shillelagh. There we go.
So first of all, the blacksmith now is furious with you because
Oh, yeah.
you've just ruined that.
Dominated his mix.
Yeah,
That
you just
drop,
ruined
no.
Well,
that
he'll
path
just
to
need to
hot
get
metal.
fucking working harder and make some more then, won't he?
And secondly, I don't think that's how that works. Make a fortunate test.
I don't have fortunate. It's really cool, Brian.
It is really cool.
That's how that works.
Okay.
Really cool. That's how that works.
So you now have a metal capped shillelagh,
Yes.
which will function as a weapon. It will not break for now,
Yes.
we'll say.
Come on, I'll take that.
Okay. So since you did get here by the end of the second day, there's still essentially like all of tomorrow to prepare because he expects them on the fourth day. You're welcomed into Solomon's home. You're given a place to sleep in some of the other serfs' homes, but they feed you. You're able to relax as much as possible, knowing what's coming. Your assumption is that there will be 5 guards that you must face. Guards often are armored, often have weapons. Could be potentially very lucrative for you if you manage to defeat them. And Solomon, so there is a healer, which you can speak to if you would like. Her name is Miranda.
Because if we just get a cut on our hand, we could end up like dying of an infection.
You're right. Luckily, the rules for this game don't go that deep into it. There is poison and disease, but yes, there is a healer who will be able to minister to you after the event. So yeah, is there anything that you want to do before, like, tomorrow, or for the rest of the evening or tomorrow? Again, you can still do gathering, you can just rest. None of you have lost any traits. You're going to be fed. You've got a safe place, a warm place to sleep. Solomon did mention Martin, if somebody wants to speak to Martin to try to encourage him to fight with you.
Butcher.
Martin the Butcher, yeah.
Yeah, who's charismatic of us? Who's got charm or whatever it takes to do all that? It's not me.
I got charismatic and empathy.
There you go, it's you then.
Go on,
Oh,
Edward.
well.
Edward can go and have a chat to the butcher. Get him on our side, pal. Get him on our side.
Yeah. I'll go find the butcher.
Okay. So while you're doing that...
Could I prepare a trap?
Oh,
So, like, dig a trench across the main path and then put some, like...
sure. Yeah, you can spend all day doing that. I'll let you spend all day doing that.
I can do a creative trap.
Editor.
So,
Some
what is
spike
your
pits
goal
and
with the
shit.
trap? Are you trying to make, like, something that they're going to fall into that you're going to be able to attack them from, or
Spikes
just something to
yeah,
hurt
pit.
them?
A hole? Aye, a hole.
Yeah, it's just like a short trench. So basically, if they approach us, we'll challenge them at the, if they start to step forward and approach us, then they might.
I see.
Fall in or something.
Okay.
Not-
So I'll tell you what.
Hmm.
I'll tell you what. Tomorrow you do that. Are you going to ask for anybody's help?
Yeah, especially the
Well,
guys
I
that
can help.
sleep.
I got a
Okay.
pickaxe.
Okay, so you take Edward and Solomon with you, and because you're being so proactive, I'm going to mark you as Solomon. So Solomon essentially becomes your companion.
Sweet.
So I am going to set his ownership to you. So you should be able to see Solomon of Haycourt now in the character sheet area.
Oh, hang on.
You'll have to open it from there. I don't have a macro for the companions yet.
Okay.
But yeah, you'll be able to control Solomon during the fight. If I remember correctly, I think Solomon has a sling, which lets him attack from range.
He
Nice.
does.
And he has some sling stones. And I think he's also accurate, which
Yeah.
gives him a bonus die on it. Yeah.
And he's fortunate as well, so he can do the fortune rolls, not me.
Nice.
Yeah, that's true. So, Brian, let's get a charismatic test from you to engage with the blacksmith. Or, I'm sorry, with the butcher, Martin the Butcher. Not that kind of butcher, not like the Butcher of Blaviken, just a butcher.
Butcher Pete. Smacking and whacking.
He's hacking and smacking and
Hacking
whacking.
and smacking.
Okay,
Got that thick.
Oh, come
so
on.
what do you say to the man? What do you say to the man?
What's his name again?
Martin.
The butcher.
Martin. So I go into his, well, I wouldn't say his shop, but where he does his butchering.
Sure, his home.
And go, I take it you're Martin?
Huh?
So, we're here to help, if you know what I mean. And we're wondering if you'd be willing to join us.
Oh, Solomon put you up to this.
Maybe, maybe not. But it's worth the cause. It's true, the sheriff's been ramshackling a lot of villages.
Yeah.
I think it's time that we put a little rest to it.
Well, seeing as how Solomon is willing to stand up, and how many of you are there?
There's 5 of us.
Could have exaggerated a wee bit, Brian.
That might be doable. But then he would know. All right. Yeah, I can help. So yeah, Martin becomes your companion. And so you will control Martin
Yes, Brian.
during the encounter. So we've got some people working on a ditch. We've got that. Dave and Oliver, are you two doing anything the next day, or?
I want a companion now. I want to go find
Yeah,
everyone else is
yeah.
getting hooked up.
There aren't any other companions
No,
available
there's a
in
little black
this
cat.
session.
That's
There's a little black
Yeah,
cat.
there is that cat
following
that's
me.
following you around.
I've got
Yeah.
a rope. Can I string it up?
That's
A
gonna be
tree?
really funny when you guys are next to the pit.
So I'm going to just do some fishing, see if I can gather. Well, if there is a stream nearby, I'm going to do some fishing, see if I can just gather some food.
Okay, so make a gathering roll to fish.
And
And what's Dave gonna do?
that's +1 from the fishing rod, right?
No, no, you just get to do it.
Oh yeah.
You do get +1 from your scavenger.
Aye. +1 from aware.
I'll just have to go foraging, see if I can get
6.
some more food. Maybe.
Okay, so make
Okay.
a foraging roll. So Oliver, you managed to catch a couple of fish, so you get, you can just put fish in your goods.
Just 2.
And
So
yeah.
2
8
spoons.
items now, so can I give these to someone else if I find something?
You can. Would you like to trade them for anyone in town?
Yeah, see what the town's got to offer.
Well, nuts and berries. I mean, you could probably trade. Do you want to trade for like a sling
Oh yes, please.
or a weapon of some kind that you might be able to get from
A
someone?
wee weapon would be
Weapon,
nice, Dave. eh?
yeah, if I can find out if someone's got a weapon of something that I could use because I've got accuracy.
Oh, a ranged
Okay.
weapon would be a
So-
perfect one. We use sling.
So you ask around town,
Mhm.
and there is a family that has a couple of young children, and the man is getting older. He's not quite as able to go out as much anymore, and they've had some trouble recently, getting enough food for them. So he's willing to give you a decent looking sling
Mhm.
for half of the food that you have.
I'm happy to do that because I've got enough. So yeah, I can give you some nuts and some berries.
Okay.
I mean, that seems.
And
like a
then
good
you can
trade to me.
spend the rest of the day looking for suitable stones. You don't have a pouch or a bag or anything like that, or do you?
I've got the carpenter's bag, which I could empty.
Oh yeah, that'll count. So you can
Gonna give you
collect
something.
up to 12 stones, let's say.
No,
That you'll be able to dump into that bag as well.
Here, I'll hand him a sack. He can now collect about 112 stones.
It'll still be 12 stones.
Hugging this.
Just to keep it simple.
Okay. Okay.
12's good. I'm accurate. I'll make each shot.
Make them count, mate. Aye, that's what matters. Quality, not
So,
quantity.
I think we have a plan. So why don't we take a short break, like 5 minutes, restroom, drinks, and we'll come back and we'll deal with the final encounter here with these guards.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice action.
Okay. See
All
you in
right.
5 minutes, folks.
See you guys in a few.
And we're back for what will be the final part of the video. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'll be okay without it. I think I'll be able to handle this. Okay, so you've done your various preparations. We've got a couple of new weapons: the iron-capped shillelagh and the sling that Dave now has access to. You've got a couple of companions. Don't forget about those because they're going to have actions as well. And we have a plan. So, just to be clear on the plan, you're going to meet the guards on the track before the village, some distance before, I would imagine.
Yeah.
You've built a trench, dug a trench, something that they can stumble and fall into. You're going to be on the far side of the trench or on their side? You're on the far side. That way, if they charge you, they hit the trench.
They fall down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. I understand. Okay.
And it is
So-
camouflage over as well. It's got.
Yeah, sticks and you know.
Well, yeah, I would
leaves
assume
and-
so.
I mean,
Sure.
I think even
Yeah.
one or two
So-
of us
Hey,
at
but-
the sides as well, trying to flank, one of hiding in each side of the road as well, like we did before
Yeah.
in the ambush.
So we'll get to positioning in a moment. It is a track in the forest, so it's not as wide as the road was, but there is some space. However, Sherwood Forest in this time period is rather dense. So the underbrush is pretty dense. You should be able to hide on the sides. We'll make some rolls for that. We're going to start, though, John, with a creative test for Simon.
Sure.
With a bonus for help, because Solomon and Edward were helping you. And we're going to see how good your trench is and kind of how camouflaged it is.
Come on. Yes!
Okay, that's a success.
That last
Excellent.
dice just kicked over just the last second there.
Right. So, you can assume that's fairly well hidden and it will work as intended. It will stumble them up if they try to rush you and attack.
Nice.
Who's going to be in the track to draw them in? Solomon, one.
Dave was really good at it before.
I've got a ranged weapon though, so I'm gonna.
Yeah,
Yeah,
be
he
off
has
to
a
the
ranged
side,
weapon now. Technically, Solomon does as well, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to have... Now, Solomon, I think he's going to stick with it, because he does have accurate.
Yeah.
So yeah, and Martin, I think, just has a club.
I mean, they're not.
He has a
ranged
cudgel.
weapons.
He has a
They're only
cudgel.
15, 20 feet. So.
Well, sure. But we're not tracking actual distance in this game. It's largely narrative. But yeah, it's good enough for a close engagement.
And
It's
I'm
not
gonna
going to go
Spring out
super far if
from the
somebody
side
runs.
with my mask on, wielding the iron-tipped shillelagh of justice.
Okay, so who I want stealth. Well, no, it'll be cunning, because you're gonna again trying to ambush them. So we'll get to that. So who's on the side? Who's in front? Solomon's out front. Who's with Solomon?
I'm on a side.
I'll go with Solomon.
Okay,
I'm
so
gonna be
Simon
on
is
the
with
side.
Solomon.
We've built for a rapport with the Dave digging.
Yeah, I'm on the other side.
Okay, if you're on the other side, then I'm back with Solomon with Martin.
Okay, and so Edward, John of Northwick, and what was your guys' name?
Nicholas
Oliver?
Dunwich.
Nicholas.
Yep.
Nicholas. you guys are all hiding, and then I think, yeah, no, Martin will be out front with Solomon as well because they'll know Martin. They've been to the town before. Okay, excellent. So now that I've got that all in my head, let's go ahead and move to
Let's fuck them up, boys.
that particular picture. Where is it? Come to collect. That's what I called it.
Ah, yes.
Oh, I like some of their weapons.
That's a nice looking sword. I can see myself swinging that.
So can I.
So you see a group of 5 of the sheriff's guard heading up the track toward you. They notice Solomon and Martin and Simon and Edward.
Yes.
And they stop at a decent distance. You will notice, I think fairly easily, that at least, one of them has a bow, which currently is still kind of slung on his shoulder. None of them are brandishing their weapons as yet. And so they stop when they see the 4 of you, and they're like, Solomon, what's happening? And does anybody want to speak for Solomon, or would you like to speak for yourself?
I'll speak for Solomon if you want, if nobody else volunteers.
Go ahead, yeah.
Aye, the people of Haycourt have had enough of you and your shit, and we're not going to pay. So, it's time for you to pay, motherfucker.
Oh, well, I don't know that Solomon would say that, but still, close enough. Basic idea.
I was picturing him being played by Samuel L. Jackson in my head. It was Samuel L. Jackson playing him in my head, and I just went with it, so...
Okay, fair enough.
So he says motherfucker, right?
The bounties of the earth belong to those who claw them with blood and toil, and they're not to be exchanged for your kind, for your wars and petty squabblings.
That's it, mate.
So basically, you're just telling them to shove off.
Yeah, basically.
We're basically saying, go and
had enough of
bleed
your
coin
shit.
from some other poor
Get the
sap.
fuck.
So, one of them, a tall, bald man, steps forward, and he is carrying a shield. He is wearing visible male armor, and he pulls a hafted axe, a weapon, out of his belt. He says, well, if that's how you feel, go get him, boys.
And then we all just do the
Now,
thing.
for ambushing, I need the 3 of you in the trees to make a cunning test for me to see if you can successfully ambush them before we roll initiative.
Yeah, so I don't have anything for cunning, so it's just roll with 0, eh?
Shit.
Oh, I also got nothing, Dave.
Right.
We just come stumbling
I
out.
finally succeeded.
There you go.
I succeeded.
Finally, Max,
Yay.
come on.
Max is the only person who is able to take action before them.
When it counts, Max. He's
They
coming in
look like
clutch.
they're gonna run. Yeah, they look like they're gonna run forward. So they're probably, at least the ones who charge, are going to hit the trench, right?
Yeah.
So, what would you like to do?
As
I can give you more information about the men if that will help you. As I said, there's the big bald one in the center that has an axe and shield and is wearing male armor. There's another one with an axe and a shield. There's one with a falchion,
nice.
a large two-handed scimitar. There's one with a sword and shield, and there's the one with the bow and a quiver on his back. Only a few arrows, it looks like, though.
Yeah. So there's like, I don't know. My thought I was going to try to do is see if there was a tree that I could probably knock over and try to land on some of them.
Interesting. Okay. Give me a tree trees are really hard to uproot. You're gonna have to find one that's dead and possibly rotting. So, I will have given you some time before all of this started to try to find one close enough to the road or the track. So give me a fortunate test.
If we did this before, if we did this as set up before the battle, does he get an assist because someone helped him look for a good one?
Sure, add a die.
We go add a dice, Max.
Okay. Please.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Son of a bitch. No. Damn it.
But
Damn it.
you know there isn't a tree, so what else do you want to do? You still have an action.
I want to sneak behind them as they're running forward, and I'm gonna tackle the big guy.
You're gonna go for the big guy?
Yep.
And you're gonna tackle him? Okay. So he because this is an ambush, you will be able to successfully sneak around behind them.
Mhm.
You can make, let's see, tackling someone. You're not going to get your surf bonus for that because it's not technically lifting, shoving, or holding onto it. It's not breaking a thing. It's engaging with a person. But it is a strong test. So I need you to make just a die roll, base die roll, to tackle him to the ground.
All right. Let's see how that goes.
You succeed.
Yes, with a spear.
So, explain to me how you. Well, he didn't use the spear. He tackled him to the ground. Explain to me how you tackle him to the ground, and you're gonna. I mean, you're effectively damaging him in the process. So yeah.
Yeah. So so you said the big bald guys in the middle as the other guys are running up there, and as they're coming through, I walk around quietly right there, and it's just like rugby. It's like a rugby guy comes up there and just tackles him.
Yeah.
Wraps my arms around him. I grab his shoulder pads and slam him into the ground.
Nice. Okay. So that is the ambush. Now we need initiative from everyone, which I believe is an
it
aware
or
test. No, I think it's aware actually. Let me double check.
Look at my aware bonus on this one. I
That's
would
nice.
imagine.
I never finished looking it up earlier because you guys bypassed combat with the noble.
So it's one
You're just
dice if you have a
"Pay
aware,
up,"
none if
and
you
he was
don't,
like,
eh?
okay. Turn order.
This spear tackle's a nice start, Max. I like that.
Okay, it is an aware test. You don't get bonuses from any of the talents you have, but if you have aware, you get to add a die.
Cool.
Nope.
So everybody makes an aware test.
There's one.
One and a spear for me.
Yep.
That's one for Dave.
Nope, didn't succeed.
Dale and Max. Unlucky.
Is it just the ambushes?
There's one for me.
No. This is everybody.
There we go.
And here's Martin.
Okay. So,
And Solomon.
whoa, why am I seeing so many rolls?
No.
The companions.
Oh, the companions. Right. Okay. That makes sense. Okay, so it looks like, unfortunately, David, maybe with your ambush, this is why this happened, but David and the companions are going to act after the guards. Everybody else acts before the guards now, from this point forward, okay? So, everybody except David and the companions, what are you guys doing?
I'm holding until the chargers get to the trench.
Fair?
Yeah,
How many?
I'm
How
ready.
many charged forward was it? Was it 3?
3 of them are charging forward.
The big guy's back there has been tackled, and
He's
the
on the
bowman's
ground.
probably getting his bow ready.
I'm going for the bowman.
That's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
Okay, so Oliver, if you go for the bowman, are you coming out of the trees on the side, or are you going to jump over the trench and give it away?
No, I'm not going to give it away. I'm going to come out the side. I'm not going to give away the trench.
Okay, all right.
I'm gonna
So
put-
yeah, you can run up and
Oh,
go after the bowman.
I'm going to go for the bowman with my iron-tipped
nice.
shillelagh of justice.
So you get a bonus die for the shillelagh. It will not break now because it's iron
Brave
capped.
+1, yeah.
If you have brave, yeah.
Yeah, so it's 2.
Oh yeah, we already established you have brave, so yeah, +2.
Come on. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Schmack.
The bowman is ordinary. That means you only needed a single success to take him out. How do you take out this bowman?
Well, just like...
Well, every time.
I mean,
Also, are you killing him,
Oh,
or are you just taking him
well,
out?
when you hear how it hit him,
So describe it.
You'll know if he's dead. So just like the first guy...
Okay, fair enough.
Just like the first guy, except this time I'm wearing the mask, but I take the face off him, basically. I use the metal tipped studs on the shillelagh of justice to take the face off him. Hits him right in the side of the head.
As you
just
hit-
disfigures him completely.
As
takes
you
the
hit
face
him
off
in the side of the head, he happens to be turning his face towards you at that
turning in,
moment.
yeah.
And you can hear and feel the bones of his face just shattering as you crush his face and throw him back several yards
Going back now, lads.
down to the ground.
No going back now. lads.
And now your shillelagh, the metal cap of it, the crude, like molten, flowing looking metal cap of this shillelagh is just soaked in blood and gore.
No open casket for you, son.
That's Oliver.
Nice.
Dave, Brian?
Can I come out of the same side, but can I pick up the bow and the quiver of arrows off the guy that's on the floor?
If you want that to be your action, sure.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Smart move. So I'm waiting
Brian.
for the guys to trip up in the trench, and then just
You are?
basically
Okay.
pounce on the first one with my dagger.
Let's see
Okay.
if they call in first.
So, and just to even it out, they're going to. They don't know it's there. They didn't see it. They charge forward, and they all spill into this trench. Your intent with the trench was to trip them up. So I'm ruling that as you're basically stealing their turn, right? They're going to have to. They lose this turn. They get no actions on anybody, and I think we'll see what happens. They get no actions. You two now get to act against them. There are 3 of them in the trench. Again, I'll remind you: 1 has an axe and a shield, 1 has a falchion, and 1 has a sword and a shield.
And how armored are they?
Well,
None of them appear to be wearing armor, although 2 of them have shields. Now, that brings up an important question. For you, if you are wearing armor or using a shield, you get to basically use either of those once per encounter to cancel a strike against you. On the enemies, it's already built into their difficulty, so you don't need to worry. Like you just roll.
Okay.
Right.
So yeah, as Brian said, we're basically going to fall on them like baby foxes coming out of a warren, and
Sure.
stab them with the daggers.
All right. So yeah, are you going after the axeman, the falchion, or the sword?
I mean, sword, just to pick someone.
Sure. It does matter because they're different levels of difficulty, essentially.
Okay.
go for the sword.
So go ahead, make your attack. Yeah.
Cool. I've got a dagger, so do I get a dagger?
A dagger is a weapon. So yeah, you had a bonus die for that. If you have brave, you also had a bonus die for that.
I'm not brave.
Fuck
So I
him up.
have to save, I guess. No.
Oh, lucky
So unfortunately, as you swipe at him with your dagger, he does manage to deflect it with his shield
Solomon, kick
as
him
you
in the
try
head.
to strike him. Brian, you get to act.
So I'm going after the one with the axe,
Okay.
and I'm like pouncing, and I'm like trying to go for the neck because like there's no armor there.
Sure.
Shank him a good one,
Go on, Brian.
and I do have a dagger.
Fuck him up.
Yep. Oh man.
Oh my god!
So, unfortunately, as you lunge forward and try to go for his neck, he kind of stumbles backwards into the trench and you don't manage to connect with your blade as you're not off balance or anything. Oh well. Oh no, you don't have the cat thing.
No.
So yeah, unfortunately, just through sheer happenstance, you managed to miss. That brings us to the rest of their turns, with the big bald guy now is going to have to.
Did I get the bow and arrow?
You did. That's your action, though.
Oh yeah.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
got bow and arrows.
Yes.
The companions could go as well, Brian.
Sweet.
Oh well, I need to finish their turn. You guys got to act because they fell into the
Those
trench.
3 tripped up. So
Yeah, but there's still the big bald guy back there. So the big bald guy starts wrestling with you, Max.
Mhm.
And since he's on you, he's attacking you. He's trying to hurt you. He
Really?
did
I
manage
thought
to
I
get
was
his
on
axe
top of
out.
him. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but he still gets an action.
Oh,
So you need to make a defensive test, which is agile, to
got it.
defend.
Okay.
and,
Okay.
whoa.
So he manages to kind of kick you off him a little bit and swing his blade at you, his axe. But while he kicks you off of him and maybe like does a little bit of maybe bruises your ribs as he kicks you off of him, he doesn't connect with the axe. You do take an injury to one of your traits though. So select a trait and explain to me how that makes sense.
I would say the wisest probably as he's probably swinging the axe right, he hits me in the head.
knock the
Or maybe
sense out
just
of you.
like
Knock the
yeah,
wise
maybe
out of
just like surprises you for getting to get out of it. Yeah, so go ahead and check off wise.
Okay.
So now you'll be down to 3 base dice, whatever you do. That is essentially how injuries work.
Yeah. I see.
Okay, so now we get you and the companions. We'll have players always go before companions. So what are you gonna do in response?
I have my pickaxe in hand. I'll pull out my pickaxe, and I'm gonna tackle him into the use like the pickaxe edge as kind of like a battering ram, and try to hit him into the
trench.
The pit.
Yep.
Yeah.
So are you trying to do damage, or are you just trying to hurt him in a direction?
I'm just trying to hurt him in direction into the trench.
Okay, so that'll be a strong test. And you know what? This will use your surf talent, so you get a bonus die for trying to shove him.
And I think he's using the pickaxe's leverage for shoving, and that's another one, eh?
The tools don't give you bonuses like that. Tools give you the ability to do things.
Trying for it, trying.
It's permission. It's not a bonus.
Okay. Come on.
So you try to shove him, but unfortunately he pushes back. He's pretty tough. So yeah, we need Solomon and Martin to take actions.
Can't stop him. Yeah, there's no bonuses. It's just normal, isn't it?
Solomon's one with the sling, isn't it?
Oh,
Come
oh,
on.
you got one.
Who was Solomon using his sling to attack?
No, he wasn't using a sling. He was basically stamping on the guy with the sword. So basically, he saw that he rolled.
Oh, okay. Okay.
To dagger him. He rolled out of the way. Solomon basically lifted up his boot and just tried to like curb stomp him.
Gotcha. Okay. Noted. So yeah, Solomon gives him a good solid kick to his head, or like his shoulder, like clavicle area, and you see him connect, and you see the guy wince, but he is still active. He is not an ordinary foe. Yeah. So that brings us to
Martin. And he's going to run up onto the guy with the falchion and bring his cudgel straight down on his head.
Come on, Martin.
Nice.
So get that plus that.
Yes!
Explain to me how Martin takes him out.
Smacking and whacking.
So the guy tripped and he's face down, and Martin just brings the cudgel right down on the back of the skull and just
Still killing
crushes
him.
it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Pretty
Okay.
well crushing it in.
Yep. So he is done.
Come on, that's two down, 3 to go, boys.
So top of the next round, we are back to Brian, John, Dave, and Oliver.
Who's next closest to me in these baddies? Is there's 3 of them are in the hole, right?
Well, 2 are still alive in the trench.
Aye, so there's 1 dead and 2
Then
alive
there's the
in
one
the hole.
that Max is tussling with.
Yep. So can I get a clear shot on the guy Max is tussling with without smashing Max?
Oh yeah.
Right, aye. So
Yeah, I mean you
now,
can both get in there.
Does the fact that Max is wrestling with him and he's distracted give me an advantage on coming up and giving
No,
him
you
the
don't. You don't get assists in combat. No,
okay. Well,
not unless somebody explicitly uses their action to assist you.
Aye, right, okay. So,
you could explicitly use your action to assist Max so that he'll get a bonus die when it's his turn, but that takes away your ability to do damage.
I know. So there's one guy standing outside of the hole, or no? There's the one guy that's out of the hole.
Yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy that Max is tussling with.
Ah, right.
The big bald guy is outside of the trench, tussling with Max. The other 2 guys who are still alive are in the trench.
I'm just gonna go over to the trench and fucking use the advantage of them being in the trench then to fucking give them a bit of swift justice.
So are you gonna go after Axeman or Swordman?
I'll go after Swordman because he's the Swordman. He must be important.
Okay.
I'm gonna hopefully do him in. So that's 2 dice, brave and a weapon. Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
Let's go. No 6s. Right.
So he manages to deflect your shillelagh with his sword as you try to strike him. Quite skillfully, in fact.
On the ground.
Right. John, Dave, Brian?
Yeah, so I've picked up the bow and I've grabbed the quiver of arrows, so we'll just load one in and I'm going to aim for L big guy on the ground, hopefully for a throat shot.
The one that Max is tussling with?
Yes. So
Okay.
can I shout? Oh, actually, no, it'll take Max's thing. If I ask Max to pin him down.
Aye, that's taking Max's actual turn to do that.
Well, and Max goes after you anyway, so that wouldn't help. So yeah, you can take a shot at him.
So I've got accurate, so I get that as a bonus, yes?
You do, and a bonus for the bow.
Get the
Wow.
You've weighted these dice.
Your arrow thunks into the ground next to his foot as he just takes a step to the side. Probably recoverable arrow though, which is nice. Brian?
I'm gonna try to stab this guy in the neck again.
Okay.
I want to take him out. Let's go.
Wow. What is going on, guys?
Oh, we got like 6s out of the way earlier.
We did.
Yeah,
I
that's
wasted
what
all
it
the
is.
Finding
6s
berries.
before.
Yay.
All these spare ones are no good spare.
Let's hope they
like-
show back up when you guys start defending. Okay, so yeah, this man has a shield and he is managing to protect himself adroitly as you try to strike at him.
Okay.
And he's laughing at you as he does so. To add insult to
you
injury.
Bastard.
He's like, poor little man with a dagger.
Oh, fucking dagger you.
Okay.
You can cut
John
cheese
with Simon.
Yeah. Similar kind of thing. I'm going to try and go through the guy's ear with my dagger.
Okay.
Go on, good roll. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So how do you take out that guy?
I basically take my dagger as he rolls his head away to get away from Solomon's stamping feet. He's on the side. He's facing upwards. He's got his ear. I just basically get the dagger straight in through the ear into the brain.
Yeah, and that his body immediately goes limp and drops, his head kind of sliding off your dagger to the side. Thankfully, it didn't get caught in there. Well, maybe I should make... No, I'm not going to make you make a fortuna test. That'd be funny. But no.
If it's stuck.
Okay. So, I mean, for all the failures, you guys are doing surprisingly well. So, that was you 4. That comes to them. So, the gentleman with the axe smiles as he looks at you, Brian, and he says, "Now you're for it," and swings his axe at you. Go ahead and make an agile test to defend yourself.
Oh, I don't have agility,
Luck
but
me.
oh well.
Go on.
Come on.
Oh.
No!
So,
Oh!
which trait do you want to injure?
I will probably do wise.
Wise.
Because
So he swings at you with the axe, and he misjudges his swing. And rather than the axe blade hitting you, you somehow manage to close in as you try to protect yourself, and the haft of the axe strikes you on the side of the head and rings your bell as he attacks. Then we come back to the Big Bald. The Big Bald, he swings his axe, this time at, I think, Oliver, since you closed with that steel-capped shillelagh. And so you're going to need to make an agile test.
Yeah. Don't have agile, but can I use the shillelagh to parry?
No.
That sucks.
If you had a sword, you would be able to parry.
Yeah, okay. So it's just a
But
+0.
shillelaghs can't. Oh, look at that.
Yes.
So how do you defend yourself? Well, I mean, you can say you use the shillelagh, I guess, if you want. How do you defend yourself?
Actually, I
against
don't
the
think
axe?
I parried it. I think I just got lucky, put the thing up in front of my face, two-handed, and he's went like that. Was that the sword?
No,
It was-
axe.
It was the axe. So the axe just comes down right onto the bit, right onto the end of the shillelagh, which is in front of my face. Because I've got those iron tips on it, it just does not go through my shillelagh, and they just
Yeah, so
hit
there's
each other right there. Ugh.
there's just a loud sparking clang as the axe blade tries to bite into the molten iron head of the shillelagh and just doesn't.
Nice.
And
Standing,
that
boys.
brings us back to Max.
Go on, Max. Fucking wrestle the shit out of this boy. I'm getting hyper up. I'm getting hyper here. Like, come on.
Alright, so am I attacking or what?
It's your turn. So what do you want to do?
I'm gonna try again.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just hammering him back.
Push him into the trench.
Yep.
Okay, make a strong test with your
Alright,
your surf ability because you're trying to shove him.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice. So you shove him into the trench. That is going to rob him of his next action as he corrects himself. So Martin and we need Martin and Solomon. What are they doing?
I yell at the two, get those two,
Fuck 'em up.
get the two NPCs
Hopefully.
out.
Solomon's going to pick up the sword from the guy who drops it and try to swing it into the guy who's just fallen into the trench.
Picking it up is his action.
Fine, he's picking up the blade, that's it.
Okay.
Still got a sword now. That's pretty awesome.
He has a
Whoa.
I'm grabbing the axe. I'm killing this guy. I'm gonna take it his axe.
Martin's gonna try to hit the other axe guy, the one I've been attacking, and try to
The one
hit
in the
him
trench. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
with his cudgel.
Thank you, mate.
Damn.
Yeah, and again with the shield, he manages to bash the cudgel away from him.
This guy's
Martin
a
is
boss.
unable to connect. So it's gonna be funny if this guy in the trench just survives everything.
Blocking it all, aye.
Okay, 3 of them are down, but he's still up. So yeah, I think they're gonna continue. So we're back to the top of the order with Oliver, Dave, Brian, and John with your characters.
Anyone want to go first before I do? I'm ready to go. Like,
Well, mine's range, so if you want, I'll just loose another arrow, see if I can make another shot.
more of the same, Games Master. The old two-handed 1-2. Fuck you. Swing a Rooney. Let's go. And that's +2. 1 for the weapon, 1 for brave. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. I keep clicking the thing instead of the thing. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah.
Okay, there's a hit. So were you attacking the big bald guy or the other axe guy?
It was the axe guy I was fighting with a second ago, wasn't it? No, it was the sword guy I was fighting with.
Well, they both have axes now, but the big bald guy is
big
who you
bald
were fighting
guy
a
that
second ago.
Max was fighting.
Yeah.
That guy? Okay.
Yeah, schmack.
So yeah,
Yeah.
you strike him and you manage to get past his guard with the shield and hit him in the shoulder, and you can see his shield just kind of shield arm go limp for a second, but he's still going.
Still going.
2
Yeah.
hits this guy is taken now, and he is still
So
going.
I'll aim the arrow at then.
Yes, Dave.
So you're gonna shoot at him?
Go on.
I am.
Okay.
+2, yes.
Yes. Well, oh yeah, you have accurate and you have a bow. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Give me.
Funk. On the ground again.
So this arrow actually embeds itself into his shield. And as he pulls it
probably
back
not.
up just in time to protect himself.
Damn it.
All right, and Brian or John?
Well, Edward's still going after the same guy.
Come on.
Yeah.
There is only
He's
2 of them
not
left
letting
who
him
could
get
do
away
it
with
here. Like,
I'll tell you a secret. It's funny. His name is also Edward.
Oh,
another one.
nice.
Can only be
Well,
one.
you don't know that.
Come on,
but
yes.
There it is.
Shank.
So
Yank.
you stab out at him. Where are you stabbing?
Basically, from one side of the neck to the other, like
Okay, so you're going for the neck.
windpipe.
He actually stumbles backwards and just kind of shoves back with his shield to get you off of him. 1 strike is not enough to take him down on its own.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
So it was a successful strike, but he is still
Yeah.
alive.
This is a tip
Um,
for tat deal.
Yeah. Okay, so John with Simon.
Yeah. I'll.
The big bald guy has taken 2 hits. The other guy with the axe has now taken 1 hit.
I'll finish the guy with the bald guy then. Come behind him
Okay.
and stick my dagger in between his ribs.
Come on.
Okay. Yeah, you do.
Ooh.
So, you slide up behind him as he's kind of turned to try and block this arrow from John of Northwick. And you're able to slide the dagger in because they're made to go through mail. And just punch in and find a weak spot. And this man immediately stiffens and cries out in pain as he drops to the ground.
Yes, mate.
Okay, it is now their turn. So,
His
the other
turn,
guy with the
singular.
axe, he sees the big bald guy drop. And he's like, no, no! And he tries to escape. So he climbs up out of the trench. There's no attacks of opportunity in this game.
Aww.
Yeah, there's just not. And he starts, again, it's a narrative combat, narrative distances. He immediately pulls away and tries to start running. So he is going to have some distance, but he's not far enough away. Like, you definitely can hunt him down and kill him if you want, especially since somebody has a bow. He starts running back down the track.
Useless with it though.
Well, that's his action, though. He is now trying to flee.
Okay.
What?
So anybody who wants to catch up to him is going to have to make a quick test.
Oh, I'm
Beyond
quick.
that,
I'm quick.
Is he within?
well,
slingshot range?
it's not your turn yet. So Solomon, he is still in sling range.
Oof.
Yeah, and the pebble just flies off into the woods. Max.
Yeah. I dropped the pickaxe, grabbed the guy, big ball guy's axe, and turn around. The other guy runs, and then I'm looking at him. I'm basically gonna go after him.
I'm coming for you. Okay, but yeah, that's your action. You've got the axe.
I understand.
You're getting away
Yeah.
from us, sunshine. Yeah, Max.
Okay. Martin.
Oh God, can cudgels actually be thrown?
I will
Probably could run after him.
I will let you have him throw the cudgel, but you're going to need to make 2 tests
Okay.
to be successful.
Well, let's give it a go.
There's one.
Where's the first one?
Yeah.
He's whacking and
There's the
smacking.
second one.
Come on.
So Martin takes the cudgel two-handed and double-handed over the top of his head, axe throws this cudgel, which spins through the air and just cracks into the back of this guy's head.
Yes. Well
I'm
done,
assuming Martin
Brian.
was trying to kill him.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
he immediately falls flat, face down into the dirt, and slides probably about 3 or 4 yards, and doesn't move.
Edward just looks up at him. I knew you could do it.
What a shot. What a shot, son.
We
Yeah,
bought you a few.
God damn it!
bought you a
Edward
few
was
days,
the
Solomon.
sidekick.
Make sure you use them well.
It's a nice
Use
throw.
that
Hey, we
sword
start
well
stripping
as
the
well.
guys' armor. It's like, hey, look, free loot. They're stripping the bodies.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I called the big guy's armor.
We're gonna take all that shit.
Solomon and Martin, thank you all, and head back to the village. They don't want to see what you do with the bodies for now, although they're probably going to come back later and probably bury them in that trench.
Yeah, just leave them in the trench.
We've already
They're
got
good shit.
Yeah, their grave's already dug, mate. Half of them are already in their grave.
Obviously, like, I imagine that you all are going to strip them of anything useful.
Oh yeah, I got the axe.
Well,
I'm like,
definitely
yep,
going
I'm putting on
for one
armor.
axe.
I've got me a new sword, mate.
So just to go through it, there is the bow and now 5 arrows, because the arrow that hit the shield is unrecoverable.
Yeah.
You can recover one out of the dirt, though. There is the archer also had a sword.
Okay, well,
So
I
there's
was going
one
to say I'm
sword.
not bothered about a sword because I've got my shillelagh, but if there's spare swords, I'll take a sword. Yeah, happy days. I'm
I'll have
thinking
swords.
more
So-
armor.
Because there's 5 of them, or there's 5 weapons technically. And there's...
Well,
Yeah.
big bald guy had an axe, a shield, and mail armor.
I'm having some armor.
I
mate.
get sword
Mail
axe,
as
shield.
in MAIL, not mail like only men can wear
He's a
it. Like
man,
men.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, chainmail armor. Aye. I'll take that.
Right. Edward, the other Edward, the other axe guy, had an axe and a shield.
Yeah. I'm
The
going for
falchion guy had a falchion.
Ooh, who wants to swing around the fashion?
Who fancies that? I'm already happy with my shillelagh of justice. Like, who wants that?
And
I'll stick with me sword.
then
and me
the
bow and
last
arrow.
guy had a sword and shield, right?
There's 3 swords.
Now, in addition to that, as you're going through their stuff, the big bald guy had 7 pennies on him. The other axe guy had 7 pennies on him.
Whoa!
The guy with the falchion actually had a pouch with 2 copper rings inside.
Wow! Come on.
Is that more?
They're copper rings. They're probably
Yeah.
worth several pennies each.
Yeah.
You'd have to find somebody to fence them or sell them to, but yeah. Which, yes, there are rules for that. The other guy with the sword and shield had 3 pennies, and then in addition to that, on the big bald guy, you find a bag that is pretty hefty when you pick it up, and you open it up, and there's 40 pennies in it.
Oh
That's
my
the tax
god.
Come
That's the tax
on.
money.
Yes, that needs to go back to the people, I suppose, the way.
I was going to say that's going to go.
We can't keep all that.
Is
Yeah,
that
hey,
what you
no,
want to do?
Well, we're robbing from the rich to give to the poor, aren't we? We can't keep all that. It's the spirit of what we're
taking
doing
the
here.
tax back off the
Aye, that goes back to the people.
goes
That's the
back to the
people's
people.
money. You're right, Dave. Yes.
We're
Now,
giving
Yeah, but
the paying the
Would you
force
want?
back.
Would you want to return the tax money, or do you want to give it to the people of Haycourt and have them return it?
I think we'll probably just
Do
give it to
that.
people of
we
Haycourt.
give it. Yeah,
we'll
we
take
can
our-
keep the other
Some
little.
of it.
We'll take our
No,
share,
give
aye.
some
We're
of it.
taking
Give
our
it to
share. We're
Haycourt.
taking a few.
Well,
A
no,
few
what I'm
pennies
thinking
each.
is if we give some of it to the people of Haycourt, because if that Will Stutley asks what's happened to the tax money, we can say, hey, well, we've got it here. You know, we're not.
Yeah.
You
So
know, we need to go back on the where they deliver the taxes from and return to the villages.
Yeah. We need to give the people back their money.
Defending themselves.
Their personal
We're the
cash that
ones
they were
that-
carrying, the 7 pennies and the 7 and the 3, we can have all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So either way, just to tell you, like, were we playing a long-term game? The way I was thinking about this is like, if you let Solomon know that, you found this bag with the taxes, he offers to actually go to the local villages and return their coin to them, so that you don't have to spend your time doing it, because he knows the local villages better than you do.
Yeah.
But since you've made that decision, I mean, you could very well just take the money, right? But
No.
since you made that decision, that also would have been the tipping point for Haycourt to become allied with you and respect you as actual allies.
Mhm.
And then you have safe harbor. I hadn't figured it out yet, but having allies also, usually they have special abilities that you can use when you go see them,
Yeah,
things
okay.
like that. But yeah, if you stay in Haycourt for a few days, then eventually at some point another representative from the Merry Men shows up, or even if you move on, like, they find you and tell you that they're very pleased with your work, and that Robin asks you to come to a meeting place in a few weeks hence to have a discussion about next steps.
Awesome.
And that's pretty much all I had for today.
I love that.
I love that.
I like it.
I love it.
Nice.
I love it.
I want more.
yeah,
I'm
that
not
was
happy
amazing.
until I'm a merry man.
Aye, this is going to be the last
I
stream.
mean, you are a married man, but
This
you're
is going to
married.
be this will be the
Different.
last stream, people, because I'm moving to the woods. So it's been nice doing all this, but that's it. It's over. This is the last
Yeah, he
one.
has a
I'm
nice
moving to the woods.
sword and shillelagh.
That was superb. Thank you very much, Brian. Really, really good. That was just something filling in when we weren't playing something else this Tuesday. So that was, for that, it was fucking really cool, man. Really, really cool. Everything was great. The setting was cool. The system was cool. The whole setup. Loved it. Loved it from top to bottom. It was really
I
loads of
would
fun.
love to see this go into long term.
Oh,
I would love to
definitely.
play a long term of this as well. We've got enough.
Let's put any
We'll
pressure
talk
on you,
about
Brian.
that later. No pressure, but we'll talk about that later. But let me.
I mean, we already got characters anyways.
Well,
Oh.
true. Don't go anywhere, folks. I'm going to wrap up a little video here, and then we're going to say goodbye to everybody on Twitch after that. So, thank you very much for playing, everybody. Trousers, thanks for joining us. It's been a pleasure. Brian, thank you. Max, Dave,
Yeah.
thank you very much for playing, boys. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. It seems you did.
Oh, yes.
I really loved it. And Brian, thanks for putting that on for us. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, mate. I really loved that. I'll
was.
definitely play that one again.
Oh yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody watching later on YouTube. We are RxOliver and the gang. Good night.
Night.